Derivative Dill.
Hey, hello, and welcome to
Indefinite lunch. There we go.
Infinite Combinations number 100. I'm sorry, I'm distracted because I was trying to get this stream going on Rumble too because I forgot to do Rumble, and so yeah, I'm setting that one up.
Rumbly in my tumbly.
Oh my!
Well, this is a good episode to be a little fumbly on because it is The Way to Eden. I'm bleeding. I'm crying. I'm reviewing The Way to Eden, and this is also episode 100, where I'm continuing a special journey through all of the episodes of Star Trek: The Original Series. I'm not leaving any out, not even The Way to Eden. This is the 75th episode, which means we have 5 more episodes to go, including this one. This episode is infamous for very good reasons on every single level. And since we will deride it enough, I'm going to allow Gorilla's Random Thoughts to have the first words today. He sent me a special review in the Twitter inbox. And even though he's not on the panel, I think this is a good way to start the review. I should have, of course, pulled it up immediately. And so I will bring that up. He's right in here in my inbox. Let's check him out.
Get the bananas out.
Yeah, let him out of the box.
Yeah. Okay, so now I just got to show my screen.
Schrodinger's gorilla.
Oh,
and you can't hear him.
Not yet. Live television, folks. That's what it's all about.
I know.
Not ready for primetime players.
Well, me, of course.
So, anybody who gives this episode anything other than an A have been going on this episode wrong the entire time. You know how much joy I have gotten over the years when my coworkers are annoying the living crap out of me that I put, "Hey, brother," on repeat there, and they have to listen to it the rest of the day. So, yes, this is an A episode. Have a good day, my friend.
damn right it is. All the way.
Gorilla, you are a handsome devil, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so as you can see, he ranked this episode highly because he uses this episode as a form, as a weapon of torture for his coworkers. So even though he gives a positive review, it's only because of its use in that manner. Thank you so much for sending that special review, Gorilla. And I want to say hello to the panel who is here. Hello to Scotty R37.
Hey.
Hey. And I understand that Pop Culture Curator did say he was going to be here today, but I'm not sure if he's showing up today. But someone who is here today is Stone Rocket. How are you doing today?
Dr. Severin's dead. No, he's outside looking in. Yeah, that's a reference to a Moody Blues song.
Whoa. Okay, so that makes sense. There are
I'm substituting Dr. Severin for Timothy Leary and the song "Legend of a Mind."
Gotcha. Okay.
Already though.
Because I know there are Star Trek songs, so I thought maybe somebody made a song.
I'm sure as heck not going to sing any of the songs in this episode. That's for sure. But
you don't have to.
I'm very proud to be a Herbert there, Jim.
Well, Jim, how are you doing today, Jim?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. I was doing some editing before I popped up here, and thank you for the invite. Appreciate it.
Great. Well, reference to productions of these episodes include Star Trek 365, which I learned about from Raquel Briggs, who reviews all of real Star Trek from
Yep.
66 to 2005 on the Cloudburn Times channel every Saturday night at 9 p.m. Central. And so they're getting pretty close to finishing season 5. That'll be pretty fun. I'll also make references to These Are the Voyages by Mark Cushman because he has some great stuff. Any other references I make, I'll cite as I go along. And even though I go in order, I don't mind skipping to different parts of this episode. Like, as if I even need to say that. To help with that, I'll read the synopsis of The Way to Eden from the 365 book as soon as I make the text big enough to read.
Best part of this episode is that it ends.
The Way to Eden. After the Enterprise apprehends the crew of a stolen space cruiser, Kirk learns that one of them is the young son of the Catulan ambassador to the Federation. Because the Federation and Catula
He's the son of Harvey.
What?
are yeah, Harvey are currently engaged in a crucial phase of treaty negotiations. Kirk has no choice but to treat the free-spirited transgressors with kid gloves as the Enterprise travels toward a starbase where the captain can drop them off. The idealistic group is led by Dr. Severin, a brilliant engineer who claims to be looking for the mystical planet of Eden.
Shakari.
And
Oh.
although Spock admires Severin and supports some of his theories, he comes to believe that the man is quite mad. Kirk has Severin placed in protective confinement by his followers who have, with Spock's assistance, located their potential Eden within Romulan territory, plot to free Severin and steal a shuttle. Meanwhile, Severin comes up with a plan to prevent the Enterprise crew from following them. So that explains most of the episode. That's helpful.
Well,
Now we
I
can all
wouldn't say it
go.
explains it.
The Way to Eden first aired on February 21st, 1969. It has a story by credit by Michael Richards. Michael Richards, of course, is the name DC Fontana uses when she doesn't want to put her name on the script.
Don't blame her there.
Also played Kramer on the side.
That's right. Cosmo Kramer. But not that Michael Richards.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, that's a whole
Yeah.
different. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
Dorothy Fontana used that pseudonym. It's based on her two brothers' names. So she just
That's
combined them.
right. That's very true. Yeah. Which I don't know if that means she likes her brothers or not.
Yeah, it's interesting. If I were her brother, one of her two brothers, I would say, "What?
You're using their names when you don't like the script?
You don't want your actual name on that?"
Or maybe they
Really?
like having their names used. I don't know.
Well, I would be enraged, especially on this particular episode. Given
Well, the 365 book covers reasons, the reasons that she did this. And something that makes me more angry than the episode itself is that we almost got a DC Fontana episode about McCoy's character, the way that we got for Spock way back.
yeah,
But before I get into that, I want to say hello to all the cool people who joined us today in the chat,
Yay.
including Franco Walker, who got the very first vote. He gives it a C.
Yes.
Why is she playing a bicycle wheel? Well, that kind of reminded me of when I was a kid and I would get a box and I put rubber bands on it and I just play a musical instrument. So that's just what she did. Jim's Landscape. Hello. Oh,
Herbert.
you're here on the panel.
Herbert.
Rad plays the bongos. Does he?
Well, and I gotta say to Stone Racket, in the chat, you kept saying reach, and I was so confused because it took me 3 attempts to watch this episode, and I was like, What is reach? Like what happened over the weekend that new internet slang was invented?
Reach, brother. Come on, reach.
Yeah, it's basically you dig.
Yeah. You
I
reach.
got there eventually.
You know I reach you.
Perfect timing, Joe.
We reach you, brother. We reach you. Remember?
Remember.
Well, wait. Okay, so I know they do the triangle thing, but Jim, you know how they do you know how modern people do like
Yeah.
the heart thing with their
Yeah.
hands? Same thing, but upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just out of touch.
Keithy says, okay, I'm number 9 on the like button. I filled out my answer on the quiz, and now I'm prepared to just sit back, lurk, and enjoy. Please enjoy, Keithy. Wes Cagle says, I dislike this one because of the damn hippies, which probably makes me a Herbert.
Which proudly makes me a Herbert, yeah.
Yeah.
And Scotty is proud to be a Herbert. He just gave himself that label moments ago.
I identify.
I identify.
I identify as
Scotty
a
identifies as a Herbert. Gotcha.
Franco Walker. Franco Walker says to please subscribe, share, hit the like, and select live chat. Yes, especially subscribe because I'm only 18 away from a celebration stream for 700 subscribers.
Yay!
At which point are we?
Here's to 700.
Yeah. Are we gonna review 7?
Maybe we'll see.
Okay.
I don't know. Is that really good?
7?
No. How about 7 brides for 7 brothers? No.
No, 7 is really if you liked Event Horizon, you'll probably like 7.
All right. Hello to Gavin Blackburn, who says I like this episode and I don't care who knows.
Oh dear, Gavin. Oh dear.
Wow.
Gavin, you reach me.
Here we go.
Classic Comics. Hey, Classic Comics. Hello, Penny. Hello,
Penny.
Edge Time.
Hail, Edge.
Greetings from the
Edge.
edge of time.
Hail, Kronos.
Okay, Kronos is here. Sweet.
Okay, Wes Cagle's also on Rumble,
Delightful.
which
Yeah.
I at the last minute added Rumble to the list of different places you can watch this show.
What is a Leo toast?
New poll: how many times will Scotty interrupt Stone Racket? How many times will Stone Racket interrupt Scotty? I don't know. I mean, like you can play that game all over the place.
Yeah.
Anyone?
I have been waiting 6 months to put the review in. Aw.
Thanks, Gorilla. It's a really good review. I dig it because you know what? As much like this episode is infamous, and I appreciate that you use it to your advantage.
Hey, Penny, what's up?
Penny.
You have been accused of inciting impressionable women into questionable choices of hair dye, known colloquially as warning locks.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Edge of Time.
Okay.
And Chrono says, "Hey, space hippies."
Would you call me Wonka?
We reach.
Herbert
space hippies.
Is a Germanic name for boys that means illustrious warrior. Yes, it's number 100. This is the number 100 show.
Yeah, and it's a shame it has to be this episode that we cover.
I know, right? Happy Tuesday, everybody. We reach Mr. Spock. Hey, pop culture curator.
Hey, Pop, what's up?
Hi, Pop.
I feel like I sent you one. I feel like I sent you the link. Okay, so 365 book has some things to say about this that help explain what could have happened, what should have happened, what didn't happen. The Way to Eden was extensively revised after DC Fontana delivered her original draft for the episode to the producers. Initially titled Joanna, the story Fontana had in mind would have introduced viewers to McCoy's estranged daughter, Joanna, suggested in the writer's guide, but never seen. In Fontana's original concept, the younger female McCoy is one of the space hippies whom the Enterprise picks up. McCoy isn't at all happy to see her. Joanna's been telling him that she was studying to be a nurse, and here she is traveling around with Dr. Severin and his strange tribe. To make matters worse, Kirk and Joanna get along, shall we say, rather well. Talk about a father's worst nightmare. The rest of the story follows Eden's basic lines. Severin is searching for Nirvana rather than Eden, and he's determined to get there, with or without Kirk's assistance. And he's determined. Joanna helps the tribe to gain control of the ship. The planet they find isn't literally poisonous, but it isn't livable either. And Kirk manages to get them to come back to the Enterprise. McCoy and Joanna eventually have a rapport. No, not rapport. Rapprochement. What?
I don't even
I'm
know.
Sorry.
No, it's cool. I just don't
You
know.
might know. Let me
Well,
type
I-
it in the chat.
We'll
I'm
just
sure
say,
I'm mispronouncing it.
how about we
I'm
say
sh-
reconciliation?
Well, yes, by context I know what it means, but I like learning new words.
Oh, okay. To
Life
say the
on
actual
Earth.
word. Yeah, sorry.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Big words.
I am excellent at pronunciation,
Uh-oh.
especially
And
this
here we go.
early in the day.
I know.
Okay, Herbert, pronounce it.
I'm waiting for the. I gotta see it.
Oh, sorry.
We reach.
Reproachment?
No, it's.
Yeah, rapprochement.
I spelled it correctly according to the book. This is how you spell it in the book.
I don't know what that word means.
Oh, and Pop Culture cannot be on the panel. I'm sorry he can't be here today.
Sorry, Pop.
I hope
No,
all is well.
it's not rapport.
Rapprochement or rapprochement. Do I have to look it up? I'm gonna have to look it up.
I'm curious now.
I mean, so am I.
Rapprochement, it says.
Rapprochement. I will take a look and see what the heck that means.
It means an increase in friendliness between two countries, groups, or people. Yeah, so it's pretty close to the meaning of rapport.
Talk about using a $2 word.
Jeez. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Paula Block, for teaching me something.
Yeah.
Similar to that of Chekhov and Arena in the filmed episode. So, okay, where was I? Yeah. But it was supposed to be McCoy and his daughter, not Chekhov and Arena. All of which, with the usual fine-tuning, was likely to have turned out better than The Way to Eden. But after turning in the draft, Fontana was told by the producer that McCoy was not old enough to have a 21-year-old daughter. Because he was Kirk's contemporary.
McCoy is older than Kirk. Everyone knows.
Yeah,
really.
Everyone knows that, except for Freddie Freiberger.
Freiberger brain. It's like McCoy is obviously at least a decade older than Kirk, and I just that really irked me when I read that as well.
Wow.
Fontana was incensed that the new guard didn't care enough about the series to sit down and read the show's existing writer's guide. Clearly, they didn't get it, and they didn't care. So I decided to wash my hands of it and move on to other things, says Fontana. I wrote a lot of westerns after that, and the nice thing was that other producers seemed to respect what we did on Star Trek. They didn't think of it as a science fiction show. To them, it was a good show about characters and situations. But while Fontana was gone, the episode moved forward, substituting Chekhov's former classmate and love interest, Irina Gulian, for Joanna. At Fontana's request, her name was dropped from the credits and replaced with the pseudonym she would use on That Which Survives, Michael Richards. And so, yeah, then Arthur Heinemann took that story. Okay, so this is after. Okay, that's everything from the 365 book. Then Arthur Heinemann took that story and demolished it with his own teleplay. He also was responsible for Wink of an Eye. So,
well, that's a better episode.
It is. It's better than this one.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Dorothy's treatment concerning this episode was the last straw, and she had her contract broken, and she took a hike.
Yeah, she
Got out of
did,
there
and she
completely.
lost out on a lot of money. But she wasn't going to write a bad script. She wasn't going to write a bad story that they were trying to make her write. And so she
Right.
lost out on like $10,000 for
Yeah.
Star Trek, and that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Especially
today.
in the 60s.
Yeah,
Indeed.
you look
Especially
at
now,
it.
too.
Yeah, just look at the inflation calculator. It's quite a bit.
Mm.
So I think I'm sure her script would have been way better, but they wouldn't let her write the story the way she wanted. So
Yeah,
that's
I
it.
wanted to see McCoy's daughter, Joanna, and because I used to have a copy of the show's Star Trek's so-called Bible, the
Yeah, the writer's guide.
writer's
Writer's
guide,
guide,
and
yeah.
it's mentioned in there, and I'm like, yeah, Dorothy was all ready to give us a good script.
Well, when she first came up with it, she was still talking to Gene L. Coon before he left. But by the
Oh,
time
that's right, and Roddenberry, of course, and yeah.
by the time she wrote the storyline, Freddie had his fingers and everything. And this show is it shows just how much Dorothy was dedicated and loved Star Trek that she was still around when everybody else had already left. And
Right.
but this
Freddie.
this was her last straw.
Freddie's got fingers.
Dirty
That was
fingers.
my joke.
Yeah.
It worked too.
I'm glad you pointed that out about Dorothy, Jill. Yeah, she was the last one to skedaddle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I would like to say, while we are, and I have the utmost respect and adoration for Dorothy, but don't you think that it would incredibly recontextualize everything moving forward if Kirk had canoodled with McCoy's daughter? Like, it makes it weird.
Well, it basically what Dorothy was trying to do, there would be an obvious attraction between the two, and that would force McCoy to truly be a father to her, since he was basically an absent father. So he would have to intervene, and everything would be put right, and
Well, would
at
there
the
be like
end-
a Kirk McCoy fight?
Well,
Kind of like the
that's a good question. It'd be a confrontation, but I guess Roddenberry's problem with Dorothy's, I don't know if it ever got to script. I know she had an outline, but both Gene L. Coon and Roddenberry knew that the story lacked action and it needed more conflict. So I really don't know how she would handle it, but it would have been a character study more than, hey, let's go into the neutral zone, and maybe there might be Romulans, and maybe there might not be, and
yeah.
There's the idea of the threat of the Romulans, but it's all amorphous. It's just like, normally you cross the neutral zone and you get into Romulan territory. The Romulans are there like that.
yeah. In previous episodes, the Deadly Years, they're right there. It's like
They are patrolling. They do not leave their borders unprotected like this. This is the weirdest thing. I don't know what's going on. Edge of Time says it's a fountain of Fantana. Guys.
Edge of Time likes alliteration.
Reportage. Okay, I'm not going to worry about. I'll worry about learning that word later.
Kapla, bird
But I
of
do
prey.
like it. Yes, Kapla to Bird of Prey 5. Great
Kapla.
to see you.
Kapla.
Hey, and I thought I
And
saw Canadian
also,
Spidey. DJ
it
Play
is-
Nights. Yay!
Really good to see DJ Play Nice and Canadian Spider-Man.
And the Comic Relief Crusader.
He's here.
Maybe inspired by Joni Mitchell's song Stardust.
I'm a bad Canadian. I don't know that much about Joni Mitchell.
Well, Mark Cushman actually quotes a Joni Mitchell song in his book. He's comparing it to Adam's song. I'm like, no. Joni Mitchell is superior in every way.
Bird of Prey 5 says, I earnestly enjoyed this episode. Wow, I'm glad you enjoyed it,
He does.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yep.
The Comic Relief Crusader, hello. And yeah, so it's, oh my goodness. Tiger Stripe says Joni Mitchell has no song called Stardust. That's no, well, what
I
I don't
bow
know
to
what's nuts
Tiger's
about
knowledge.
a mistake.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's
Tiger
a
Thank you.
the lyrics quoted in Cushman's book does mention Stardust, but the song, I think he refers to it as, he says Woodstock, but I don't know if that's the title of it. She may have sang it at Woodstock, but I don't know. I just, like Scotty, I don't know details about Joni Mitchell.
And Tiger Stripes has requested to not be a moderator, so I will remove her wrench for her. Let's see how do I, there you go, Tiger
Wow.
Stripes. You're free. Okay.
Take that off your keychain. I am the
We
same way.
reach. We reach you.
Okay,
so
Jim, I'm
there's-
going to have to ask you to stop with the space hippie talk.
so this episode was
Pervert.
directed by David Alexander. David Alexander wasn't blamed for running late on Plato's Stepchildren. So the Enterprise intercepts the Aurora, which is a stolen space cruiser.
Well,
Stolen by just exactly 6 people, so they could all be beamed up
they could beam-
precisely.
Yeah, isn't that
And-
neat?
Amazing.
well, and also I'd like to point out that this is we're looking at the the remastered special effects, and they changed the original ship which was actually just an a Tholian triangle ship that was that had antenna, sort of. I guess you could call them warp nacelles, but it does look like antenna.
Yeah,
and so I do. Honestly, this is one of those ones where the remastered special effects do hold my attention more. But yeah.
Okay,
Either way.
and I have the images here
Delicious.
of the original ship. What is that? Okay.
That's what it was.
That's what it was. Yep.
Oh yeah, so in the original version of the episode, the spacecraft is a Tholian ship with AMT model kit nacelles added to it.
Yay, AMT for the win. Once again.
And so the remaster has a whole new design. Obviously.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I liked what they did on the actual planet, though. I liked the.
And there's a difference in the explosions.
Mm-hmm.
So Scotty can beam them aboard. It's just fine.
Wouldn't this be so much of a better episode if they just let it blow up and it was like, oh well, that sucks.
Oh, what a mistake. Oh man, we just couldn't get them.
Anyway, moving on.
Next to the next adventure. They're veering off.
Hey,
For
they
what
are.
reason?
Look at the screen. They are veering off.
Yeah.
I'm glad Sulu's here to tell us these things.
Kronos says stolen cruiser. Yeah, so let's see.
Like, I do still subscribe to Bird of Prey 5's philosophy in terms of if it's the original series of Star Trek, it's always an A+. However, in terms of relativity, this episode builds momentum and then stops cold to do like 3 musical interludes. And I'm like, no, you were doing so well and you had to stop. And obviously, this was a thing at the time where they were trying to attract younger viewers. That's why Chekhov was introduced. We all like this is after they found out that they were going to be canceled, isn't it? Or are they still working in earnest?
Well, they know they have their final episodes.
Yeah, they have their. According to the Cushman book, the actors interviewed here. The guest stars said there was kind of a sadness over the set and the crew, and I think they knew they were headed for cancellation. Is kind of how it's put in the Cushman book.
Okay.
Yeah, because in the last episode they weren't sure. I think this one they are.
Yeah.
And I
Of
want to say
course,
hello to
go-
Lemon Pie and also hello to Cinema Gulp. Hey guys.
Hello,
Lemon.
hello.
hello, hello.
Gulp.
Gulp. Lemon. Gulp. How are you?
Uma, Oprah, Oprah.
Yeah,
Uma.
right.
And
That's an obscure reference, maybe for most people, but yeah. When David Letterman hosted the Oscars.
Mm,
Top 10
Yeah.
Oscars of the last 30 years.
Now, well, I really enjoyed it too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
well, I'm a
Irina,
fan.
she was front and center there, and a fine example of triple FN.
okay, but what are they protesting? They just don't want to leave the transporter room.
Well,
Well,
they
it's
have
just they were snatched from their ship, and they're not happy about it, even though
Oh,
it was
okay.
going to
Oh,
blow up. It's like, well,
even though they were gonna die, they're
yeah,
upset about not dying.
but
or something.
The only reason that they were going to die is because they were being pursued by the Enterprise and they overtaxed their ship. And that was so that we could rescue, Carly Curly Hair here. And because he's a Cthulhan. And that's the entire reason. This is basically pursuant of an ambassador's son who stole a car.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Right.
Ambassador's son. It's got
And
pulled.
Enterprise are the police, and so they pulled him
Yeah.
over.
The ambassador's son has purple hair, and he has an egg. He has an egg on his shoulder. Well, they all
he
And
saved
on his face.
He's saving the
What the
egg for later.
Yeah,
What do the eggs mean anyway?
one.
Maybe two.
Oh
We
my
don't know.
Oh my god.
So
Okay.
basically, the reason that they're protesting is because they've been beamed away from their ship. They didn't want to blow
Yeah,
it
I just-
up. They were trying to get away, and now they're there. And
Mhm.
I think that before they leave the transporter room, Dr. Severin says, "Would you please take us to Eden? That's the
Yes, I
only
got
thing
it.
we want.
I got
Let's go."
it. They're protesting because the Enterprise didn't let them continue their criminal they didn't let them continue to be criminals.
True
They didn't just ignore them. Makes sense. So Mary Linda Rappel played Irina, Chekhov's former flame. She said, I was living in Kansas, where they did location production for the Truman Capote film In Cold Blood, and was cast into that movie by Richard Brooks, who was the director. Why is she telling us this? Oh.
That's how she got her start.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Trust me, I was around a better production once.
Yeah, that's a heck of a movie. Have you seen it?
That's what it is.
Have you seen it, Scotty?
In Cold Blood?
Yeah.
No.
I've read the book, but I've never.
Yeah, the
watched
movie. The movie's awesome.
Does it have Dean
Mm.
Stockwell in it, or am I thinking of something different?
It has. Oh, now
It's okay. You can.
I'm
we'll
having a
find out
senior
later.
moment.
Well, she goes on to say she worked on Ironside and then the Star Trek episode. And Walter at the Durst agency called and said, "Can you do a Russian accent?" I said, sounding like Natasha Fatale from Bullwinkle. But of course.
Moose and squirrel.
He must have liked the accent, so he sent me over to Paramount. And I went to sign this part with this crazy Russian accent, and next thing I knew, I'd been cast on Star Trek. And she was just 24, and she was also on the medical center, One Life to Live, and here she is. She also comes back and an episode of Star Trek New Voyages. Oh, one of the internet fan series. Very cool.
And apparently she's been in a bunch of fan films. I read. Apparently she's she has aged gracefully, from what I understand.
Yeah, in
That's
Cold
good.
Blood starred Robert Blake.
Oh,
And Scott Wilson as the killers, and it also had John Forsythe and a Star Trek connection, Jeff Corey.
Please remind me.
Jeff Corey was in the Cloud Minders. He was
yes,
administrator.
Well,
that's how good this episode is that we'd rather talk about In Cold Blood.
No, that's it.
This is Victor Brandt under some makeup playing Tongo Rad. He'd been before in Elon of Troyes as Watson, a member of the engineering crew.
Watson.
And he'd appear later in T.J. Hooker with William Shatner. And he says, my father, Louis Brandt, was a producer of Cactus in the Snow. And I guess that's how he got to... Oh, that's how he got his part on The Way to Eden. Oh, wow, that's kind of funny that his dad got him the job, but but in the episode, he's playing the son of an ambassador who's like and he's like an entitled son.
No, speaking of
It's
T.J.
kinda funny.
Hooker, Matt G is expecting you, Jill, to cover that series next after you get done with Star Trek.
I know Matt G expects a lot of things, and he is a valued fan around here. So I take everyone's opinions and suggestions.
We
very
should do it for.
seriously.
We'll do it for a shore leave, the one where Leonard Nimoy is on a TJ Hooker.
Oh, you know what? That's not a bad idea.
That's not a bad idea. I like that.
Victor could read the boy. What boy? What for? Here, take the script. Well, I can go out and study the part. Oh my god, these people. I'm trying to see if there's anything interesting here. I didn't pre-read this stuff. Brandt knew that Herb Solo had been involved with Star Trek, but was unaware that Solo had left the series by that point. He said Herb Solo was part of that meeting. He was in the room with David Alexander and Arthur Singer. They treated him like he was the boss. That's what I remember. And it wasn't until later that I was told that he was the reason we all said Herbert. Really?
Yeah, it's Herbert Solo, and I'm like, why are you knocking Herbert Solo?
I know, right? What's wrong? Well,
Apparently
Solo,
he was renowned
Mhm.
for his very rigid thinking, which is something that I've encountered. And so I'm kind of with Gorilla on this, is like when you say, hey brother, every now and then I do enjoy. I know we're throwing it around like it's for free, but every now and then I have mumbled under my breath to a superior at work, Herbert.
Herbert, says Franco Walker.
Yeah.
Yes. Let me check I'm looking through the chat here.
Okay. That we got a confirmation on the Joni Mitchell thing.
Ew. But Tom Mann
basic,
did respect Star Trek is dead, says Poop Liquor. Okay.
But
I'm gonna call you I'm gonna call you Liquor 9000. I don't want to say poop all the time.
Yeah, the about the Joni Mitchell reference, Cushman was just making a point that, well, is this song in the Star Trek episode any sillier than this song or this song? You know, he's just making comparisons to the pop culture of the time or around that time. And it's like, that didn't land too well with me either. But anyway.
Hey, hello to Brogu and the Outcast Creative. Hey, Jill. Damn, don't think I've seen this episode since the first time I saw it.
Yep, you and me both. I watched it for a second time very, very early in the morning.
You can thank your father's influence for the fact that you're not under arrest.
You watched it very early in the morning. You know what? What was that like for watching this episode for the first time, Stone Racket?
It wasn't the first time. It was the second time.
Oh, the second.
First time in decades. It was, like I said on the Discord, oh, the pain.
So quoting Dr. Smith, that's what it was like.
Yeah, I did not. I, you talk about reach. I wanted to reach for that remote. Hit the next button, hit the scan button, hit the stop button. But
hit the eject button.
I powered through it and I watched it all, including all those silly songs.
And you kept saying, eject, eject.
Eject.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for Spock mind melding with the Horta saying pain.
Oh,
okay. I don't have it. I don't have it.
Pain.
I haven't brought in the
No worries.
And of course, Scotty, what did Shatner say when he got back?
Get that guy an aspirin.
Yeah, get that Vulcan an aspirin. This is after he got back from his father's funeral, and he wanted Spock or Leonard Nimoy, well, show me exactly what you did. for the scene.
Mhm.
And when he really got into it and the pain, you go, get this Vulcan an aspirin. So they knew Shatner was back.
That was
Yeah.
that was a really lovely production. Let's talk about that episode.
Yeah, let's talk about the Horta episode. No.
Yeah.
In addition to piracy, you've left yourself open to charges of and endangering the lives of others as well as your own. I'm bleeding.
Oh, this guy makes me miss Harry Mudd.
That is me cargo.
Well,
you know what? I would take Finnegan. Oh, Jimmy Wee Boy.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Well, the Cushman book tries to say, oh, well, the theme explores the generation gap between the youth and the establishment and how the relentless pursuits of progress can alienate many from the system. And
yeah, with all the subtlety of a ramjet. Yeah.
Yeah, but the actual dialogue that I hear doesn't really dig into that very well.
You said dig.
And this is the moment where, I mean, this episode falls apart because it's very clear that even if they weren't planning to take over the ship, they are being very obstinate, very uncooperative. And that might be fun in some other kind of setting, but you're out in space where the crew needs to be ready for emergencies. But you have these guys chanting, refusing to be where they need to be, or even be out of the way. So they're not really very cool in their rebellion. They're just annoying. Kurt's excuse for not confining them due to their criminal behavior is that Tongo Rad's dad is the Catulian ambassador.
Yeah.
So because they're in negotiations, they're allowing known criminals to roam freely all over the place. I don't know if they're convicted, but you know they're
okay. So Tongo Rad is the son of an ambassador. Okay. Well, have him escorted around wherever he wants to go by 2 security guards on either side.
Exactly.
And then confine all the other space hippies. But then we wouldn't have an episode, and they couldn't take over the ship through the quote auxiliary control room unquote. It's like that trope just drives me nuts. But anyway, carry on.
You're absolutely right. Very good, Stone Racket. That's precisely what.
Yeah, moving on.
That's what have normally happened. In this kind of thing is if they're not putting them in the brig, security guards, absolutely. Phasers.
Yeah. Where are all the phasers?
Yeah.
They can be
phasers on stun,
man.
One.
Yeah.
But Spock apparently seems to understand the group's gestures and motives. He can speak with the cool kids. He knows their jargon.
Because Spock is cool.
Yes.
And the youth of the day identified with Spock. So we got to have Spock talk to the space hippies.
But also, I would like to, sort of reference that this actor who plays Dr. Severin, he's Melicon from Patterns of Force.
That's true.
It's nice that they brought him back. I think that he's a charismatic actor with a great voice of bravado, and I just wish he could have done something better. Those ears are ridiculous.
Big ears.
The bald cap is stupid. And so I think he does a great job as an actor and a performer for being ridiculous. I think he deserved better.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. He's a good actor. He was in the Expanding Human episode of Outer Limits, and for another sci-fi reference. But they should have done better with him here. And those ears are just come on,
atrocious.
Yeah,
elephant ears.
Like, talk about cauliflowering.
Yeah, my goodness gracious.
Did they go to the donut store and get some big old donuts and take that pattern and make the ears?
Yeah, this is the precursor to Princess Leia's buns.
Pastry ears.
But
we wouldn't have those wonderful songs.
Yeah, you bet, Franco. You betcha.
You call them songs, I call them speed bumps.
The more Wes Cagle says, the more you think about it, the more you realize that these are less a bunch of carefree hippies and more a full-on cult. Yeah, no, that's what I was continuing to say about Spock.
Very good point.
My issue here is that they're trying to make it look like Spock would like. I like it when he's curious and everything, but the problem is, after a while, I believe Spock would not be so drawn to them because they are just so entitled and they refuse to recognize reality. It might make sense that he's curious about them because, well, they explain it later in the episode that they feel like they're aliens on their own planet, and that ties into his experience. And so I kind of like that a little bit. But why isn't he curious about why they're criminals instead of being able to figure out how to live without cheating others? They dismiss what they don't like and they live by anarchy. And Kirk allows this. Even if these are Federation orders, Kirk has before not followed orders when he knows that they put the Enterprise in danger. Or like Stone Racket said, give them some security guards.
Yeah.
They act like they're the ones affronted, but they stole the spacecraft. But I guess they don't realize it as stealing, which goes back to not recognizing reality. That is not logical. So I don't know how Spock chimes.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Well,
yeah, it's just throw them all in the brig, except for the ambassador's son, and have him escorted everywhere he goes by security guards.
That would have been proper procedure, but also this, like, I hate it when I write the episode that I want instead of enjoying or reviewing the episode that is presented. But part of the reason, retrospectively, that I think Spock is sort of forgiving of Dr. Severin is, I think, partially because of his relationship with Sybok. Because this is whole cloth the original Star Trek V, The Final Frontier. The Star Trek V is a remake of this episode, and I would argue Star Trek V is better than this episode. So I have now rediscovered an argument for Star Trek V is like, well, on the plus side, it's better than Way to Eden.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, and there's something in the 365 book about that. So let me find that.
Oh, sweet.
I put a bookmark in where I am here.
And the footnote should reference Scotty R37 there, right?
Right.
Look at those legs on Human Mirrors. I mean, girl number 2, as it stated in the credits.
Well, she wrote, she co-wrote the songs with Charles Napier, who played Adam, and so.
Oh, I thought that was Deborah, the blonde. That.
Oh, it was the blonde. It was the blonde. I'm
no,
sorry.
It was. Let me correct that again. It was Deborah's boyfriend that wrote the songs.
Oh, I thought Charles Napier had a hand.
Yeah, he may have had a hand, and the director. They were all over at the director's house, so it was a collaborative effort. But the Cushman book kind of focuses more on Deborah's boyfriend.
Oh.
But I'm going by memory. I'm sorry.
Okay, so speaking of books, I'm going to read from the 365 book about this. It says, let's see, is this right? Yes. If there was a generation gap between baby boomers and their parents during the 1960s, there was a bigger one between the boomers and the MBAs in Hollywood executive suites, who never got a handle on how to bring the screen the colorful and vibrant idealism of that era's youth movement. More often than not, the end result was something like The Way to Eden, colorful in garments, if not in personality, with space hippies providing idealistic cliches, more embarrassing than profound, all of which served to make Spock's interest in Severin's flowery group seem more than a little out of character. That erudite, buttoned-down Vulcan was willing to jam with them in the rec area. He was willing to do that was peculiar enough, but his effortless facility with the pseudo hippie speak used by the tribe brings to mind the sincere, "Oh, stewardess, I speak jive," scene in the movie Airplane, spoken by the actress who had played fictional small-town homemaker June Cleaver in Leave It to
Barbara
Beaver.
Billingsley.
Spock's interest in the search for Eden as oh man, I meant to pause the.
No, don't. Whatever you do,
I meant to pause
stop.
the slides.
The faster
Not.
we get through this, the faster I feel better.
I know, but I wanted to stop you. Well, I know I'm getting through it as quick as I can, but also
No, you're good. You're good. I'm sorry. I don't mean to rush. I actually have to go and flip my laundry. I'll be back in a second.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm just reading from the book. I got to find out where it was. Okay, so Spock's interest in the search for Eden as mythical a location as they come is equally difficult to comprehend. Isn't this the sort of pursuit of undomesticated aquatic fowl that Spock would find illogical? Well, yes, but one got the sense that there was an underlying reason for Spock's fascination with the subject. And sure enough, exactly 20 years later, when Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, appeared on the big screen, it suddenly made sense. There is a black sheep in Spock's family, his older half-brother Sybok, who left home to pursue his visions of the mystical planet Shakari, from which, according to Vulcan legend, creation sprang. In other words, Eden. Ah, it was in the blood all along. I don't know. I don't know if Paulo Block is kidding or not. But Scotty seems to see the relevance too. Which is kind of funny because he just left.
Yeah, I found the part in the Cushman book that talks about the songs.
Oh, yeah? You want to talk about songs? You can talk about songs.
Well, just...
Oh, Herbert, you are stiff.
But Deborah Downey remembered they were all over. Production started actually a day before the official start date of November 21st, 1968. And he said that the cast were all over at the director's house. And they all participated in the full day session of recording the songs. Says Deborah Downey remembered these were the songs we'd worked out when we went to the director's house. And then when we finally went into the studio to record them, they had all been orchestrated. We each sang our own parts. It was a lot of fun doing that. And Victor Brandt said Deborah's boyfriend at that time wrote all of those songs. And Charles Napier could really sing. He could really belt them out. Yeah. And Deborah, too. The biggest problem I had was I had to play a bongo. And I told them, I used to play the bongos, but not well. And they said, well, we're going to give you a musician to play that part. And his name is Troy Rodriguez. And he's a famous bongo player and Hispanic percussionist. So that was fine, except that he was really good and I wasn't. And I had to match what he did later on camera. So I still had a problem.
Yeah, that's really cool that he made, because he is a singer. He was a singer and a songwriter before he started acting. So, and he's kind of funny when you're not watching, like.
Don't cry, Jill. Don't cry.
I'm gonna.
We respectfully request that you take us to Eden.
Yeah.
Darn right.
Herbert.
Hey, James Caserta says hi. Hi, James Caserta.
Hey, James,
and
what's up?
Franco Walker says, what is Star Trek 5? Star Trek 5.
It's that movie directed by William Shatner and co-written, I believe, by William Shatner.
Those years.
Mm-hmm. What does Adam need with the shuttlecraft? Oh, the pain, says Classic Comics.
Oh, I really dig those hooker boots that he's wearing, huh? It's like, what the Sam Hill did they think they were doing with these costumes?
Well, anything they wanted.
Yeah,
the entire chat and panel are a bunch of Herberts, except for Jill.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
We don't reach.
We don't reach nothing. Now, is it Irina or what? How you pronounce her name?
However you like.
Yeah, her costume,
Irina?
Irina. Her
Mhm.
costume is the best one, easy.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, it's because it exposes her navel. But I'm a
Right.
toxic male, and I make no apologies.
Apology
Sure,
accepted.
sure. Okay, so then there's
They regard themselves as aliens in their own worlds.
Ready
A
then.
condition with which I am somewhat familiar.
Gotcha.
that's like
And
a real small ounce of something that could have been good.
And there's Yeoman Mears with her legs there. And of course, my favorite line of hers from Galileo 7 is, "It's getting hot."
It's getting hot right now.
It's getting hot right now, yeah.
Gonna live, not die.
Gonna live, not...
Gonna crack my knuckles and jump for...
I got
a clean bill of health from Dr. McCoy.
clean bill of health from Dr. McCoy.
Here,
That
I
it?
gotta play that one a little better. I'm
Yeah.
gonna play it faster together.
Gonna crack my knuckles and jump for joy. I got a clean bill of health from Dr. McCoy.
The joy is a little messed up because it got cut off. But that's one of the great lines in this episode. And there aren't many. So you have to
That
that's
one,
what you got.
that one is probably the best line in the show. Still makes me laugh, though.
Yeah, it was well delivered and it was funny. Wow, this episode sucks, says Cronus. Yeah. Franco says, "Oh my god, it's really fun just watching the chat scroll by."
Oh my.
This is the kind of thing.
She's getting her physical. Oh my.
Oh yeah.
Purple rouge, purple hair, purple rouge, side by side.
And so, of course, they have to escort him to be examined. He doesn't really want to be examined.
And then we get Chekhov's full name.
Ooh,
Pavel Andreevich Chekhov.
Chekhov's full name.
Yep.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, this is the first time. This is where it's confirmed from his former flame, who's looking magnificent here.
Andreevich, yeah. I didn't even think about
Pavel
the fact that we got his
Andreevich
middle name.
Chekhov, yes.
Yeah, and she's a Starfleet Academy dropout.
Yeah, drop out. Kind of like Leary, tune in, drop out, whatever he was doing.
Oh, is that a hippie? That's the hippie thing.
Oh, you betcha. That's Timothy Leary. Or the Dr. Severn in this episode.
Yeah.
Usually during these reviews, Jill, I would return from being away from the keyboard and say, "What did I miss?" But the answer is nothing.
Well, you I guess I already told you. Paula Block agrees with you that there's a connection between this and Star Trek V.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And Star Trek V is better.
Yes.
She probably thinks that too.
There's
but
some
we didn't
really
get her
good.
opinion.
I'm sorry, Jill. Really good scenes in Star Trek V for sure.
I love everything in Yosemite.
This is, and like, I am such an apologist for character moments. I enjoy like exploring these people as the teaser trailer for Star Trek VI. These people have been family and friends to me throughout most of my entire life, and watching this, like, I'm even grasping to say, oh, at least there's some Chekhov. Can we get some Chekhov? And I guess the biggest thing that happens with Chekhov is that we find out his middle name. And so it, like, oh my God, I wish I could love this. I try so hard.
That's right. Andreevich.
This is such an F+.
But isn't this the first time we learn his first name as well as his middle name?
Well,
yeah. Well, I mean, you just said his middle name, but I thought it was his. This is the first time that his full name is.
It
That's
makes sense. It makes sense. And again, that is the only uptick.
Well, and the thing is, you're grasping at straws. You're like, there's something to like here. There's something.
I thought animals were kept in cages.
Oh, I love that line. I love that line.
It's like, yeah, throw them in the brig.
Please let Chapel be in charge because she has the right idea.
And then give them each a hypo to knock them out. So they can't
meet again. Enjoy.
Meet again. Enjoy.
And what does she mean by that specifically?
She wants to make love.
Butt stuff?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so. Anyway,
Make love, not war, Scotty.
Go to your friends.
Yeah, Scotty.
Yeah, Scotty. No.
And here are why she says this line. I thought animals were kept in cages. She says,
See him right now. All we want is see him now.
I thought all the animals were kept in cages.
Well, why don't you take her to the take them to the rec room and make some ice cream, Christine?
Oh, yeah. Pistachio, please. No.
Yeah.
oh, right. Some ice cream might calm them down. That's not bad. You just spike it and then put them all to sleep. Edge of Time says, watching the space girls go by.
Standing on the corner, watching all the space girls go by.
That doesn't quite work.
It was clumsy, but then again, so was this episode.
Well, but at least you knew what song was being referenced.
Yes, indeed, he did. And so did I.
And
because I'm an old guy.
Again with the old guy.
Hey, Cam's here.
Yes, Cam's here. Cam says, greets, Jill, Stone, Duke, and Scotty. This episode isn't great, to put it kindly. The freaking space hippies, except for the ladies, aren't very compelling characters.
Well, and it's funny because when I was looking it up on my preferred search engine, it was I looked up Way to Eden Star Trek, and it was were you looking for hippies, Star Trek, the Star Trek episode with hippies. And so it's just like, even if you don't know the name of this episode, even a casual person, if they are sort of derogatory towards Star Trek, they're like, oh, is that the space show with the stupid hippies? I feel like Leonardo DiCaprio in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's just like, oh, the dirty goddamn hippies.
Yeah,
hey, Scotty,
well, yeah, this is about the hippies.
So you use DuckDuckGo?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, there you go.
So they talk about, I skipped over some of the scenes, and one of the scenes I skipped over was Kirk and Spock talking about Dr. Severin and him being a brilliant research leader in acoustics, communications, and electronics. But he got dismissed, and essentially what we find out is that he has this disease that has made him go crazy. Essentially,
you know what? It just dawned on me. Is he like a prototypical Ferengi? Look at those ears.
A Ferengi. Oh, because of the big ears? That's inspirational, but I really don't know.
I doubt it. Like, for sure, I doubt it.
I doubt it too.
It's just something that popped to my head.
No pun intended, Scotty, but you're reaching.
I am. It's true.
Spock also,
that's a good one.
Also talks about how they are they have a revulsion against the technology and all that. And so they want to go to Eden, and that's we all do. The cave is deep in our memory. Well, we don't steal space cruisers and act like irresponsible children. Whatever. And so the idea of Luddites itself, looking for Eden, could have been an interesting idea, but boy, this idea was destroyed utterly and completely. It really kind of makes no sense, because what I think is that as Federation citizens, they could have chosen to be a part of a colony on a new world where they would have to work the land and all the things that they want.
Omicron SETI 3 or something like it.
Farming and effing.
Yeah, they could definitely find a place for that.
Yeah, of course, this is Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek still in a way, because paradise.
Yeah.
We're not meant for paradise and eternity. Oh, we don't want to live forever. That's
wait,
that
are you?
Western, that Western religion stuff. We don't want that.
Well, and I don't like to bring up anything in the future way, but as I've mentioned before, I love Star Trek because it's a bunch of people doing their jobs, and this is a representation of a crew of people who are absolutely against doing jobs at all.
They're just grooving to the beat, huh, Scotty?
Yeah, and they get in the way of the Enterprise crew doing their jobs.
Yep.
And that's
and I agree. It's
sure.
outrageous. Outrageous.
Okay, so Skip Homier. How do you say his name?
Who?
Skip Homier.
Skip
Homier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
so
Homier.
like Scotty said, he was the Nazi in Patterns of Force. And Dorothy said the only really good thing about The Way to Eden, I thought, was that they got Skip Homier, who I'd always felt was a pretty good actor. So yeah, Skip Homier.
Yep. Yeah, he is. He's a solid actor.
He's a former child actor.
Yes.
And he was on Perry Mason Combat the Outer Limits with James Doohan.
Yep.
And The Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. He also had his own crime drama show called Dan Raven. And after Star Trek, he was on The Interns in '79. He demonstrated his comedic skills in The Wild Wild West Revisited, whatever that is.
Yeah,
the Wild Wild West.
Wild Wild West reunion movie made for television.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty good.
Yep. Of course, they didn't have Miguelito Loveless. They had his son, played by Paul Williams. Yay!
I love Paul Williams. He was in Planet of the Apes.
Yes, he was.
Oh boy.
No, he was all right as a villain in the Wild Wild West Revisited. So no complaints there. I was just
speaking of complaints, Chekhov had complaints. Well, Walter Koenig doesn't believe that his character was done very well because, of course, it was supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to be Chekhov. It was supposed to be Kirk. So the way it was written, it didn't really. It wasn't really right. And he thinks it's badly written. And you know what? Oh, if you're really interested in what he thinks of this episode, keep your eye on the YouTube channel, The Seventh Rule, because they're currently talking to Walter Koenig, and I'm sure they're going to talk about this one at some point.
Yeah, it's interesting. In the Cushman book, they actually pull a interview with Walter of the time. And it was a few months before the episode even aired, and he's talking about it in a more positive way. But as the years rolled by, Cushman picks these little bits of interviews, and including the one he personally did, and Walter sure comes full circle. He just absolutely hates the episode, and like Jill said, his character wasn't done right at all with this one.
No.
Well, and it's funny because, like, again, I'm trying to find things that I like about it, and I look at this episode and I'm like, well, at least it's a Chekhov episode, and I'm like, well, have there been any other Chekhov episodes? And I'm like, oh yeah, we could do Who Mourns for Adonais, we can do the Deadly Years. There are so many Chekhov things. The Spectre of the Gun.
Spectre of the Gun was a good one. Was
the Apple, which isn't a good episode, but at least Chekhov's got a girlfriend, right?
A good-looking girlfriend, by the way.
Yeah, you betcha.
Yeah, we definitely reach on that one.
Well, like, isn't it weird in terms of the cast of this episode? I would say this is the musical episode of the original series, and the best singer on the entire crew not present. There is no Uhura here.
That's because she had a singing engagement elsewhere, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God.
She made the right choice.
I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad she's not here, actually. That makes sense. Because I'd love to hear her voice. I want to hear her sing more, but I don't know.
She sings good. Yeah.
Do you think she could have turned this episode around?
I don't know.
I do think that she could have turned this episode around, because at the very least it would have been a showcase for Nichelle Nichols, and I think that would have been great. It may not have made the episode better, but at the very least, like the speed bumps of the musical numbers that I absolutely loathe, it would have been like, well, at least Nichelle Nichols is here.
Yeah, at least we got to hear her voice. And
Yeah,
I think that's always a good thing.
Speaking of Nichelle Nichols, did you guys notice when Spock first starts playing the Vulcan harp, he is playing the Charlie X music that Uhura makes into a song about Charlie X.
Right.
Remember that? Starts strumming it, and I'm going, well, that's from Charlie X. Where's Uhura?
I love that. That was great.
What I would have loved to have seen, this is just in my mind's eye, since we're talking about Uhura being this episode, if she was in the rec room with those space hippies, she would actually overtake them in talent, and
that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
she would be
dominating in her singing.
She's so talented. She would be the lead singer.
You got it.
And there would be no way around it. The Borg are jealous of the space hippies, says Cronus, I think, is what he's saying.
Exactly. These guys are not getting assimilated.
Well, here they're talking about a deadly bacteria which occurred because of the technology, I guess. The disease is what I suppose is supposed to make us see things through the hippies' perspective, because he blames it on the science. But the script never really goes anywhere with this idea, and Dr. Severin... it just seems like a device to get Dr. Severin into the brig, nothing more. Because then this entire story thread is dropped to like hippies falling from trees. And all right, so I'm gonna get caught up with the chat and see what you guys are saying in here. Talk about mud flaps. My girls got them at the time, and
oh my stars!
Oh dear.
We have to have a conversation later, Jill.
No comment from me on that one.
Well, I didn't say. Well, I didn't. We didn't describe what that is, so it's okay. And nobody, please don't. Yeah, nobody do. Nobody do. Nobody does. Nobody will. I didn't know what I said until after I said it, but I get it now.
Okay.
JD Lewis says, I'm suddenly gaining new respect for the space hippie episode of Lost in Space.
Yeah. Third season. There you go.
But that one is a lot better. Yeah.
Oh my stars. We have finally breached, like my mind is exploding.
No. Oh, wait.
I infamously dislike Lost in Space. I've never seen the first season. But if you're saying that this episode is worse than an episode of Lost in Space, I am just taken aback.
I'm not sure. I haven't seen it yet. I was thinking of a different episode that
you have to witness it for yourself, Scotty. Third season episode. Dr. Smith with long hair and saying "groovy, man."
Actually, I do enjoy schlock, so maybe I should.
Yeah, it's a little schlocky. There you go. But then again, Scotty, you may equally hate them both.
Yeah.
Are there musical interludes? Oh yeah, did they sing?
Yeah, it doesn't say specifically who Deborah. Now I forgot her last name. Deborah.
Who composed the hippie songs?
Yeah, it was her boyfriend, but what was her boyfriend's name? Doesn't say in the book.
Deborah's boyfriend.
Yeah, Deborah's boyfriend.
DB Sweeney.
Well, that tells you a lot.
Make love, not war. I don't see why we can't do both, says Wes
Exactly.
Cagle.
I'm with Wes Cagle on this
Deborah Downey. That's her.
Deborah Downey. Space hippies are derpy. Yeah, this whole episode is derpy.
Derpy?
Yeah.
Awkward.
It's not cringe, though. Do you find this episode cringe?
I beg to differ.
You think it's cringe? Okay.
But go ahead, Scotty. I'm sorry.
No, that is my entire question. Like, I think it's derpy, but I don't think it's cringe.
Does it make you feel moopy?
How exactly did Space Himmler become Space Hippie?
Oh, there you go.
Oh, boy.
Dragon for the win. I like that. That's funny. It's the ears. He's a totally different character.
Since the coccus novi is deadly.
It's deadly.
Remember your ancient history, typhoid Mary?
He's a carrier.
Yep, he's a carrier.
Yep.
Well, you should get vaccinated.
Yeah, well, he just needs to be cured. This is like it's like something you can immunize against. I guess you can't cure it. Or what did he say? Oh, it has no cure, but immunization is available. So that's why he's not allowed to go places that are not sterilized or with people who are immunized.
And McCoy said something about everyone has had a series of shots as far as the crew, but the space hippies may need to have some boosters.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, let's see those hypos going.
Like, I think that I agree with Dr. Severin to a certain extent in terms of you've identified a crime that I didn't commit. You have condemned me for something that I didn't do. And now you are incarcerating me for something that I have no control over. I find this to be authoritarian and I must buck free of it. And I think that that's an interesting idea. But then I forget all about that because someone wants to have a guitar solo. Like, there are ideas in this episode that they compel it. It moves forward. And then all of a sudden we stop so I can hear some guy pretend to play like a pool cue with strings.
Yeah, but does Typhoid Mary deserve to be a chef just because she wants to be, regardless of all the people that she infects?
I don't know. We should ask what's that guy's name? The barber of Fleet Street.
We reach.
Okay.
How do you know what I want? Make it tempting.
Oh my.
But Scotty, you gotta remember, Severin stole a spaceship.
This is true. He's a criminal. He is a hairy mud.
He's a hairy mud, but at least I don't know. Hairy mud was more fun.
Oh, definitely.
Reluctant Dragon in the chat. Sweeney Todd, yes, is who I was trying to think of, and I forgot, but I do appreciate the chat. Thank you so much, Reluctant Dragon.
And Edge of Time says herpes in space.
I believe it's pronounced herps. Now here is what I need help with, because I was watching this and doing my best to stay awake, and I heard this musical cue between Dr. Severin and Spock, and I was like, where have I heard this before? Because I'm with you, Stone Racket. I've only seen this episode in its entirety twice. Once was in the 80s. This is the second time I've ever seen this episode. And the musical cue during this conversation is very, very close, if not identical, to Khan in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, talking about, I will leave you where you left me, inside a dead planet, buried alive. It sounds identical. Now, I looked it up and I couldn't find anything in terms of, like, if I look up Way to Eden music, it's just going to say hippie songs. So I couldn't find the score, and I was wondering.
Well, it's
did you guys pick up on that?
No, I'm sorry. The score was done by Fred Steiner. A lot of it's track music from previous episodes, but James Horner did the music for Wrath of Khan. And are you suggesting he may have lifted something from this particular episode?
Yes.
Yeah.
And not as a detriment, because I think it's really good music. Like,
yeah,
I think it's positive.
I don't know if Jill has any part of this segment on as a clip where we can hear a little bit of the music. Yeah.
Well, let me play the clips that I didn't play a little bit ago.
Okay.
I wanted to play.
I just had to give one of those barefooted, what do you call them, boot out of here. He came in bold as blast. Tried to incite my crew to disaffect.
Those barefooted, what do you call them?
I like that. What do you call them? Because they don't really call them anything.
Vagrants.
Yeah.
But that was just something that
Ne'er-do-wells.
Ne'er-do-wells.
That's what
yeah.
your science have done to me. You've infected me.
See?
Oh.
Wah, wah. I will leave you where you left me.
Yeah, that's
in the heart of a dead.
It's a little different though.
Yeah, that's different. I got a little man trap there.
Oh, okay.
But I need to hear more of it.
Well, Fred Steiner did the music that they use in this episode. There was no new music made for this. I don't,
Right,
except for the hippie music that was made.
Yeah, that's why I said it was tracked Fred Steiner music, so reused. Yeah.
Well, and if it was reused, then I would. What I'm trying to do is make lemonade out of these lemons, and I was like, "Oh my stars, that sounds like Star Trek 2." And so, if this was lifted from another episode previously, I want to find out where that music originated, and if it came from the original series. If it's Sandy Courage, I'm happy. I was like, this is the best part of this episode. From again, Lemonade.
Yeah, maybe someone in the chat might know. If they do, let us know.
Yeah, but Dr. Severn's happy to be a carrier of his disease. He doesn't care who he infects.
Herpes.
With his well, it's a bacterial disease, not a sexually transmitted one. Though those jokes are funny.
If you're lucky.
Very lucky.
Because well, he has a rant about it, about why he deserves to hurt people, I guess. I don't know. He just like Spock says in a few moments, he says he's insane.
Yeah.
And yes.
It's very interesting, and again, like in terms of free love and the culture at the time, counterculture, if you will. Like it's interesting ideas, and then all of a sudden we have to deal with a drum solo.
Well, it's an interesting idea, but the way he talks, though, the cultish manner in which he presents his ideas, like he's trying to recruit someone into his ideas. Only primitives can cleanse me. I cannot purge myself until I'm among them. Only their way of living is right. I must go to them. And then Spock says, your presence will destroy the people you seek. And so this kind of thinking, it can be okay if you're keeping to yourself, but this kind of thinking is kind of what led Pol Pot to commit genocide. I'm not saying that wanting to live in nature is going to lead you to do that, but that's kind of the vibes I get from this guy. And so luckily he doesn't get the chance.
A dooba doop bop, hail bop, a doop bop bop.
And Spock concludes that Dr. Severn is insane, but offers to help in the search for Eden. Yeah. So Spock's gonna help.
Yeah.
He's like, he's crazy, but I'm gonna help. So he's crazy, so we should help. Like he could have said those lines because that's his conclusion. He's still interested in finding Eden.
Well, and this is an interesting sort of like, I appreciate this in terms of the interaction between Kirk and Spock in this, is that they're not at odds, but they are discussing this in terms of what is the best course of action. And so this is one of those moments where I do feel that Spock and Kirk are more equals than like I appreciate the interactions. Also, that's a wicked axe you got there, Mr. Spock. Do you mind if I plug it in and jam a bit? By all means.
That's now.
Oh, it's really now.
Really now. I reached that, brother.
Oh my God, I hate these people. Put on a shirt.
Yeah, really.
Dr. Severn is insane.
Agreed. Adam needs a shirt. And Adam needs a punch in the face. Oh, sorry.
Well, do we have Charles Napier from subsequent Star Treks?
Oh yeah, we do.
Okay.
I'll play that for you now.
Thank you.
I forgot about that. And then I'll check in with the chat.
I just want to remind everybody that Charles Napier is not a total tool.
You know, Quark, you might be some kind of Martian.
Ferengi.
Whatever. But the more we talk, the more you remind me of my brother-in-law.
Oh, my stars. Jill, you are the best in the world. I asked you for one clip, and that was the best one.
Yes, I went through the whole script for his best line, and that was it.
Scotty,
whatever.
Scotty, Jill reached.
True story.
Hey, that's why we're all here. Oh man, what is happening? Where am I?
I don't know. Didn't you star it?
What's happening?
Yeah, I did. I found it. Kronos says, "Hey, dragon. Damn it, I'm a doctor, not a space hippie."
But my daughter is.
My Russian daughter.
I wish Joanne. I wish we would have been Joanne.
There was a
Disease-riddled
novel.
hippie with
There
space
was a novel that was written about McCoy's daughter.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Didn't know anything about that.
Great.
Yeah,
I gotta check it out.
I'd heard of that, but I completely forgot about that.
Well, hey guys, did anybody say hi to Tim's talk?
Not yet. Hey, Tim, on your left.
Yeah, hey,
Tim, what's up?
On your left.
That's
it's what Tim says.
Oh, cool.
And you guys, if you're not subscribed to Tim's talk, you should absolutely go give him a look. He is probably in my top 3 of Star Wars experts that I know, and he does a bunch of other stuff. He explores anime. He's a great man. He's a good
wonderful.
dude.
Agreed.
Yeah.
The Reluctant Dragon says, in the future, the best officers will be Canadians pretending to be from other places.
No, James T. Kirk is from Iowa.
That's true. Or Montreal, depends.
But he only works in outer space.
Right. Oh, that makes me want a Michelob.
Me too.
Camp Crash Courses says, Scotty has no affinity for hippies. Go figure.
I know, it's weird. Well, no, but the thing is, and I think, Jill, you and I were talking about this earlier, is like I am much more of a punk than a hippie. So
Yes, you are. Yeah, that's what I figured. And Kronos says, get the antibiotics. Well, I think that's what got us in trouble in the first place, our technology. And too many antibiotics makes the bacteria resistant. And that would have been a fun thing for the angle for this episode to explore. But they don't.
Yeah, but with the antibiotics, the bums that don't complete their regimen of antibiotics, and then we get the strains that are resistant to them. So thank all those bums that don't follow their doctor's orders.
Well, and
Mandrake, have you ever heard about fluoridization? They're interrupting our essential bodily fluids.
No, precious bodily fluids.
That's right. I'm glad you got it.
It's General Jack D. Ripper.
Yes,
how's
sir.
that for subtlety?
Oh, that's awesome. I just watched that on Sunday. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, that's one of my top comedies. Moving on.
Well, yeah, moving on from one insane general to an insane doctor.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's actually not out of line.
Beautiful segue.
We're talking about Dr. Strangelove for anyone who's confused.
Well, I know the movie, and even I'm confused.
Oh dear.
So the Reluctant Dragon says extra points for the Pol Pot analogy. Thank you. It's a really eerie kind of thing that happened. I didn't like it. I don't think anybody did. Pot could pole dance?
Yes.
Oh dear.
If there are no follow-up questions, yes.
I pray that's a wig. Yeah, he got rid of people's glasses. It's like you can't wear glasses. You can't read.
No,
you
Burgess Meredith would be upset.
reading was frowned upon for Pol Pot. He didn't like that.
He was ahead of his time in terms of internet videos.
Larry says there are no plugs in Star Trek.
That's right. Where do you plug in your charger?
It was the best of times and the worst of times.
Speaking of glasses, Deborah Downey needed glasses, and she kept missing her marks, and the director yelled at her. So that's one of the memories she shares in Mark Cushman's book.
Oh, thank you, because I didn't get that far in the episode.
Yeah,
she shared more stuff from the.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't have contacts, but she needed those glasses, and of course, you can't wear glasses in the future. So,
well, Star Trek 2, maybe she's allergic to Retinox.
There you go.
Yeah, they didn't get that creative yet.
Yeah, that fry burger brain.
Damn writers.
Damn right.
Sucking
Jill for the win.
Does this navel ring make my butt look big?
I don't see no navel ring. I just see one beautiful
Edge of Time
unpierced navel there.
Edge of Time. Do not get Stone Racket started on navels.
Yeah.
No, I know. Nemesis the Eden says, "Hope you're doing well." Thank you, Nemesis. Good to see you.
Nemesis Enforcer.
Hey, Nemesis, what's up?
And the Reluctant Dragon says, and Jim Doohan is from Vancouver.
Yep.
True story.
True story. Yeah.
And also, this is, and I think it's been mentioned in the chat, Jimmy Doohan did not like this episode. He preferred Spock's brain. And for that,
yeah, me too.
I adore.
He's absolutely right.
Yep. That's right. He's another one that is down on this episode, and for good reason.
Brain and brain. What is brain?
But back to navels. No. Navel piercing is a scourge upon mankind. There, I said it.
Okay.
Damn
it.
Back to the episode.
Then I'll take out my stud.
Brain and brain. What is brain?
Oh, my stars. Could we use a little Spock's brain in this episode? I adore it.
Well, only because Jimmy Doohan said it's better than this one.
Well, it is. Spock's brain is better than this episode. When people talk about the worst episode of Star Trek, I still think that Alternative Factor and this are the ones who betray Star Trek the worst because they get boring.
Yeah, Alternative Factor is still my least favorite episode.
It's a fight. I'm gonna have to find out when we do our final ratings.
I don't know. I'm on the fence a bit.
Yeah, me too.
Also, I don't know. I think I give them the same score.
That's you know what? We'll get there when we get there.
We will. We'll get there pretty soon. I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get there a little quicker.
I rank Alternative Factor higher than And the Children Shall Lead and this episode for sure. Now I have to admit I have not watched Spock's Brain in decades, so I'll have to revisit that sometime.
It's so bad it's kind of good.
Yeah, that's so bad it's so good. Yeah, I'm kind of feel that way about Turnabout Intruder, but I need to revisit that one. So I may change my mind on it.
That's gonna be epic. I can't wait for the Turnabout Intruder.
Mine didn't mind. What is mine?
Do you know all these things?
Things.
I do not know. I find out from the computer banks.
That's right.
Oh, so he is a victim of the internet himself.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting is
yes.
What's interesting is why the heck is Chekhov in the auxiliary control room doing computer work along with Spock? He should be with Spock or it's just.
Yeah, he's all alone. There's nobody else there.
And then conveniently he's elsewhere when what's his name comes up with the what kind of nerve pinch you want to call it with the two hands.
Yeah, not the Vulcan nerve pinch.
The Vulcan.
The Cthulhan sleepy time.
Exactly. The Cthulhan poke.
Yeah. I'll go with that.
I
there is
swear.
Nothing wrong in doing what you want.
What a terrible accent.
I'm not receiving, Mr. Chekhov.
Well, no, Arena is receiving, if you take my meaning.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you with that video. quick, Scotty. I'm
No,
sorry.
but I swear that in Under Siege, Steven Seagal does the same thing with the two finger poke at the back of the neck to Vulcan neck pinch. I swear it's in at least one Steven Seagal movie.
Is it?
I was
think
going to
so.
say right after that clip, I want to be alone. Whose line is that and what movie, Scotty?
Oh, I want to be alone.
I want to be alone.
You know what? I'm going to pass.
Greta Garbo in the movie Hotel.
Well, do you want to put your lips together and blow?
Oh, that is from To Have and Have Not.
Then that is my mistake, and I apologize for stepping on your cape.
Ooh.
And Greta Garbo's first line was, "Give me a whiskey and don't be stingy, baby."
That is also the first thing that I said as soon as I was born.
Yep. And that's from Anna Christie. Just remember, Anna Christie, give me a whiskey.
You can do it.
It starts to chime.
It starts to chime, baby.
It's chiming, man.
Let's
I will-
get together and have some fun.
I want to
Don't
punch
know
him.
how to do it, but it's got to be done.
Oh my
Look
God.
at that face. Look at that face. Just so punchable.
No, he's a handsome man.
Yeah. Okay.
We reached.
I think Charles Napier is a great actor. I enjoy his gravitas as much as I do Dr. Severin. I think he's fantastic. And again, this is a credit to actors who are willing to show up, wear their stupid wigs and dumb costumes that need sleeves. I think he is doing such a great job, but like I do admire Charles Napier.
Hey,
I think
Jill.
he's great.
Jill, could you go back? Could you
Hey,
go back to
Gorilla.
that slide with the engineer officer grooving on the bridge?
Boom, boom, ba-doo, boom.
Where was that?
That's the one
Back one?
Before?
back, yeah.
And he's playing like air drums. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, and
Why are
when
they
you were talking about your admiration for good acting from Skip,
yeah,
Jill had that slide there for more than just a few seconds, and it started making me laugh.
Not Skip, Chuck.
Because that actor was the opposite of Skip.
Yeah. Like, why are they playing the music throughout the ship?
Right. What the heck is all that about? That's okay, Jill.
Where was the slide? I don't
It's
know where
okay.
it went.
Don't worry about it. It's all right.
It's not important. It's goofy as hell.
It's just goofy, but
But
yeah,
I
why did Kirk allow it to be piped through the ship? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it for whatever reason, it makes everybody distracted from their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Yay,
So-
brother.
Gorilla's random thought says, "Where is my equal representation? If I have to see guys topless, then I want to see women topless."
Well, and
Gorilla wasted a member chat for that.
Well, no. That is just an acknowledgement of the fact that he has been a member for 3 months.
Yes, he has.
But the thing is,
so have I. So there. No.
So well, then you can.
I think you've been a member for 4 months.
Oh, pardon me.
I know, right? I think me and Jim have to leave.
Yeah.
No,
Anybody
you don't.
got $1?
No,
Yeah.
you don't.
Somebody shoot me $1. But and Gorilla, what I would say is, you can see as many people as you want as being bottomless, as long as they are only being shot from the waist up.
Well, yeah, so you've got your imagination. That's true.
Yes.
Wes Cagle says, Cambodian dictator who led the Khmer Rouge and was responsible for the killing fields. He says to to James Caserta. Wes Cagle says to, because I keep mentioning him, and I didn't explain who Pol Pot was. So if anybody doesn't know who Pol Pot was, that's who.
There you go. Yep.
Is that the Killing Fields? Is that a movie with James Woods?
Yes.
Nice. I have to see that. I like James Woods.
I learned about it from reading the book. I guess it's kind of a biography.
Look at you being all educated.
When Broken Glass Floats. I don't know if that was ever made into a movie, but it's a really good book about that horrific thing. Larry said, from the perspective of
nice.
Larry says Star Trek Continues has Napier and the Chekhov girlfriend in episodes.
We really got to check out Star Trek Continues.
We are going
Me
to.
too.
I think.
It's been a while.
Nice.
I think we have to.
I haven't seen it in a while.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing pretty
well. Oh, good. I'm glad Nemesis Beaton is doing really well and relaxing. My Cronus's brain is making strange sounds. Oh, that's not good.
Scotty, I made a mistake. It's Sam Watterson and John Malkovich, Julian Sands, Spalding Gray, Craig T. Nelson. Those are the actors in The Killing Fields, of course, with Huang Nar as the main actor.
Oh my, okay. What am I thinking of?
The Reluctant Dragon says, I'm convinced that Alternative Factor was written by someone who had recently read Dr. Haynes Alfven's Worlds and Anti-Worlds from 1966, but didn't understand it. Oh,
interesting.
Good idea.
I'm pretty sure that the Alternative Factor was written by me in the future, and it was thrown back to the 60s, and I was absolutely inebriated off of every drug. Whether it be coffee, Tylenol, marijuana, alcohol, it doesn't matter. And yeah, so that episode, What of Lazarus?
What of Lazarus?
What of Lazarus? And then Tim's talk is referring to Cat's Paw here.
Oh, my favorite Star Trek people are the ramen noodle people. I couldn't figure that out. Thank you, Stone Racket. That didn't make any sense to me.
Sylvia was hot.
Yeah, when I first saw that, my jaw dropped as a little kid, and I was like, "What the heck is this?"
Oh, Larry says Linda Hunt. No, that's from the Year of Living Dangerously.
Year of Living Dangerously.
Sigourney Weaver and Mel Gibson.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's get this.
There's something. Maybe it's I don't know what it is. Anyway, it's not important. We're talking about The Way to Eden.
Yeah. Dr. Severin's insane, and he's gonna.
You're insane.
He's gonna do something that's supposed to kill everybody, but nobody dies, fortunately, until the hippies go to the planet and hurt themselves and kill themselves.
They got their feet hurt. There he is. All right.
There he is.
Oh, okay.
It's that red shirt guy.
Yeah. Not Eddie Paskey.
Not Eddie Paskey.
Not Eddie Paskey.
That's just so stupid. Oh, sorry.
Yes, it is.
No, it's okay. It is stupid. I agree. Instead of doing his job, he's just sitting there air drumming. Stream Element says Matt G just tipped $1.10. Scotty,
11 cents.
Remember a sitcom in the 80s called Check It Out about a grocery store?
I do remember that television show. I think it was actually filmed in Canada, and it starred Dawn Adams, who you may know from Get Smart. And I thought it was, I watched it. I remember probably about 4 episodes of it. And I think it was at the time my second or third favorite sitcom. And it went Cheers, Night Court, and then Check It Out.
Gavin Blackburn for the win. Scotty R37, the James Woods film you're thinking of is Salvador.
Bingo, bango. Thank you, Gavin.
Yeah.
And Franco Walker says, please subscribe, share, hit the like, and select live chat. Yes. Please.
I already did all that.
Oh, you did? You did? Oh, okay.
West Kegel.
I guess you can't do it again, huh?
Several times.
But I have 18 subscribers to go for 700. Come on.
Ooh.
Yeah, tell your friends. Tell your mom.
Yes, tell your mom. West Kegel
you know what?
says...
My mom is actually in the hospital right now, and I said, you should watch Antiderivative Jill. And then she did. And she was like, I unsubscribed because you're kind of a dick, Scott.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
So no, my mom doesn't like my contributions to your channel.
I like them, but I can understand that they're controversial.
Yeah. Well, that's why you're cooler than my mom.
Well, I don't know your mom. I can't. I'm not going to agree. I'm going to withhold my judgment. West Kegel says, remember for 4 months.
Mom's word.
4 months of being a Herbert. Edge of Time says the Uber Herbert has entered the chat.
You've been a Herbert for more than 4 months. Hey,
Matt,
Matt
you're
G.
37. Wish your mom well.
I do, and thank you so much, Wes Cagle.
He went to visit her yesterday.
I
Larry
did.
says, 3 months of being Jackson Roy Kirk. Sterilized.
Nomad.
Yeah.
Exterminate. Oh, wait a minute. No, the Daleks predate
Close
Nomad.
enough.
That's interesting, though. That it's interesting to see sort of the ideas that were lifted from original series episodes and then brought to the big screen. And in the same way that Nomad was basically a prototype for V'ger, this is, again, I can't help but bring it up, is that this is a precursor to the Final Frontier.
Yeah, I did Scotty, I actually did a paper when I was in college as an undergrad in film studies, analyzing Star Trek: The Motion Picture and the episodes that it lifted from the original series.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go with the with the not Vulcan neck pinch.
Right, the not Vulcan neck pinch.
Rip all the ears.
The Cthulhu poke. I think that's
Dr. Severin taught Rad that move, and he said, "Do you see my ears?" And Rad said, "Can't miss them." And it was like, okay, so what you do is go behind the ears and just squeeze. And he was like, okay, sounds good.
Then falls out.
Yeah.
You know what? There's something, and I wish Pop Culture Curator was here for this, but there's a lot of reverse photography in this where you get to see Kirk's the delta on his uniform is flipped. It's
but that's
obvious.
on the planet, right?
Yeah. And the reason
It's
for
so
that
jarring.
Yeah, the reason for that is the director didn't get the right shot because Kirk should be looking one way, and they had to reverse it, so he's looking, the right direction. But I also read in the Cushman book that they lifted some stuff from another episode as well. I'm kind of going, oh, really? Which one?
But there was something like that last week as well, where there was an overhead shot of Kirk in his chair, and that was from like a second season episode.
Yeah, that was
Edge of Time calls it the hippie neck shake.
Yes, I enjoy the movie Cocktail as well, and the only reason I bring up the movie Cocktail is because it's more entertaining than this episode.
Well,
meanwhile, back in the diversity hires.
That's stupid auxiliary control room. Look at
what is Scotty doing this entire episode? Like he's just like letting these guys take over the ship. He's just not doing shit.
Where are the phasers? Does no one have a phaser?
Right. And to echo Scotty, they're not doing their jobs.
Yeah. Everyone's just wandering around. Like this is almost naked.
They're wandering around. Yeah, they're wandering around dancing like they're poisoned by the music. They're so swayed by the beat.
When the main controls are just fine and dandy, the auxiliary control room cannot take over. Doggone it. I'm so tired of that stupid trope.
Scott.
Star Trek. The auxiliary control room is if something's wrong with the main controls, it's like
Jill.
You can't use it to take over the ship.
Jill,
but that's what they do here.
I'm getting overexcited. Can I go have a cigarette?
Yes, you can.
You cannot interfere as I have frozen the doors to the control room.
No, I guess you can't. I froze the doors. Oh, here we go.
Yeah. You are violating Romulan space and endangering the peace of the galaxy.
You're being led by a man who is insane. Oh wait, do I say that? No, I don't know.
You are correct.
Hey, brother. Adam.
He's a known carrier of bacillus strain known as the Synthococcus whatever that was.
Nuva, or whatever.
Nuva. Given a full psychological file. I don't care enough to pause it and go back and read it.
Hey, brother.
Adam.
You're making me cry.
Making me cry.
We cry. Yeah, just can't keep up with all that.
This episode made me cry.
You know I reach you.
Oh my god. I made these clips, but without the, like, even with the episode, it doesn't fit together. So it doesn't matter that it's so terrible. It's just so bad.
It's so bad, and it's not good.
You're making me cry.
So I guess I'll be there in 3 hours. Mars Monkey Max is here. Hello, Mars Monkey Max. And so they're singing.
Head now to Eden. Yea, brother.
Yep, that's what Gorilla uses to torture his friends at work. The Yay Brother song.
Sonic sound to stun them so they can leave the ship.
Yeah, sonic sound to stun or kill. I guess at a certain frequency, you could kill someone with sonic.
Yes.
Like enough sonic resonance. But and that's what the episode says. Yep.
Yea, brother.
Well, I'm using sound against them. Beyond the ultrasound.
Please, Jill, no more music from this episode.
It does destroy.
Yep.
It does destroy.
Oh, no, you don't want me to do this.
Yea, brother.
Captain, they're using.
Yep, that's me, Jill, right now.
That's not the ultrasonic on Stone Racket. That's just him listening to the song.
Gone beyond.
Oh, there's some I really love this overacting.
Captain, they're using.
Amazing.
Nurse Chapel wears blue panties.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
That's
well, I think they're bloomers.
It's actually part of the uniform.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to wear bloomers with the uniform because they're so short. I could never obey a computer. Where am I? Oh yeah.
What has Nurse Chapel? What has Nurse Chapel done to her hair? She's supposed to be blonde.
Oh yeah, this is from another episode, isn't it? This particular fall.
Yeah, you're right. That's the Cushman book did mention that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's right. And Deborah Downey didn't just do the music. She played Mavig Girl #1, the blonde who jams with Mr. Spock. So that was the girl. That's the girl on the thumbnail for this video. She also does some singing in the episode, and that is her singing. She helped Napier with the writing of some of the songs.
According to Memory Alpha, it's Phyllis Douglas. Is actually Matvig.
Oh.
Yeah, because she's apparently there's some kind of card set where the actors autographed this series of cards, and it said that Deborah was this Matvig character, and according to Memory Alpha, it's not correct, but that's Memory Alpha, so who knows?
Yeah, right. When you tell me it's from Memory Alpha, I need to know the secondary source, because it could be okay if they tell you what source it's from, but then if you go to the end of it and it says citation needed, then you don't know for sure.
Yeah, I
nothing.
Apologize, I didn't double check that one.
Shame on you, Herbert.
I usually no,
I'm not Herbert. I'm Stone Racket.
But you did qualify it, so you did your due diligence there. And Downey says, Downey also did that movie with Charlie Napier, which she dismisses as being made during her starvation days. She wasn't proud of it. But she met Charles, and he got me the audition for Star Trek. I'll always be grateful for that because Star Trek was one of my favorite shows. I was a sci-fi fan. Ray Bradbury was my guy. I loved his work, so I was a huge Trek fan too. Downey remembered Fred Freiberger was at the audition, and Roddenberry was there too. There were several men at the table when I walked in, so it was terrifying for me at the time. But Freiberger was very nice, and then they had me sing a little bit, kind of like a cold reading. In the song, I think I might have been the last person cast, but they hired me that day. Downey enjoyed her experience on Star Trek, but not in Hollywood, and left the business immediately after working on The Way to Eden. She said, "It wasn't a good fit for me in California. It was very hard to make it out there. Charles Napier always treated me like a kid sister and wanted to protect me. He'd tell me, 'Go back home to Indiana. Hollywood isn't a nice place.' So I took his advice as soon as Star Trek was over and never looked back. Music was what I wanted to do, and I did work in music for a while when I came back east."
I
See, I
appreciate
like the
the
way she
slide.
tells stories.
I appreciate the slide simply because a lot of people give a lot of credit to side boob, but there's some side bum.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I would call it side high thigh.
Oh, I like that better. I will cede.
Well, okay, so who knows which girl this is? Phyllis Douglas played girl number 2, the pretty brunette hippie. She made her film debut in 1939 with Gone with the Wind as 2-year-old Bonnie Blue Butler. And 30 when she did her first Star Trek, wearing a miniskirt as Yeoman Mears in Galileo 7.
It's getting hot.
Yeah, okay,
Mears.
that's who it was. Okay.
That was
you mentioned that earlier.
It's Bonnie Bell.
I just
Butler.
finally caught up to you, Stone Racket.
Yeah, Bonnie Bell is the infant. Is the child of Rhett Butler and Scarlett O'Hara.
Look, we made it to Eden.
Ultrasonics, the panel.
Well, right, and that at least Spock can't do it because
Jim,
it hurts
the panel
him more because of his hearing. So yeah, so he turns off the panel, so that works.
Captain, go flip the switch.
Do we have control of the ship? Sulu, I think so, sir. Well, what? Why don't you know?
Ship out of danger?
Out of danger.
Saved the ship.
You saved us
You
all.
saved us all. Yeah. Oh my stars. This is the most egregious thing when we get to Eden. This is the worst. I do appreciate the cinematography of the beauty of Eden, but there is something that happens when we get to Eden that I am just like, what are you doing?
Well, that's the thing I don't like about that last scene. Before we get to Eden,
yes.
Hold on just a second,
please.
Oh, did you see me?
Captain, they're using. Happening to Eden. Yeah, brother.
I would like to also. This is a shout out to Robert Meyer Burnett and the film Free Enterprise. There is a bar that they go to called Eden. And where are you going tonight? We're heading out to Eden. And then everyone says, yay, brother.
Yeah, brother.
And I say, oh, brother. This episode.
The best part about this episode is talking about all the things that it reminds us of, as opposed to this episode.
I do like Free Enterprise. That is a good movie.
I like it too.
And I do like Don Ranger Power, and he's here.
I'm also a fan.
Don's here.
I live like a king on whatever I find. Eat all the fruit and throw away the rind.
Stop.
Well,
stop with the music.
Well, the world don't move to the beat of just one drum. What might be right for you may not be right for some.
Do we have control of the ship?
No, sir. Control is in auxiliary.
Can we break out of orbit if we have to?
I think so, sir.
What's going on?
Explain that. Explain that to me.
Are we in control of the ship? No. Can we get out of orbit? Yes.
Sure.
What? Who wrote this? That's not Dorothy Fontana at all.
No.
It's that Fry Burger Brain and his assistant Arthur Singer.
Well, and even if you look at this episode as being a highlight of the counterculture of the late 60s, and the authoritarians in this episode are the crew of the Enterprise, the oh my stars, the Cthulhuians, like what? I don't know whose side I'm supposed to be on. Are the Cthulhian like, is Dr. Severn the victim? Like, what is going on?
No,
and
the
why
victim
should
here
I
is
care?
the victim here is Chekhov.
And a message or some kind of, like, are you trying to find an idea that the episode is trying to get us to think about?
Yes.
I couldn't do it either.
Yeah. It's
There's
so muddled.
There's something somewhere, but nobody actually talks about it. All we get is
All this plant life is full of acid.
we do get Chekhov's famous line that he says all the time, his catchphrase, which is
Yep.
scream.
Chekhov screams.
Somebody needs an ILIC.
All this plant life is full of acid.
This episode is full of acid.
Please,
love that joke.
panel, excuse me, I need some Tums.
Poison. Fruit is deadly.
Fruit is deadly.
Obviously an
Poison.
anti-V.
Fruit is deadly.
That
Obviously, what?
music.
Anti-vegan.
Yes, it's an anti-vegan message.
There's the shuttlecraft.
Full-scale shuttlecraft. Full-scale shuttlecraft.
I think I've lost it, guys. I'm not even here anymore.
You're fine. Everyone has. No, here is the thing.
We'll help you.
There you go for all you foot fetishists. But like, here's the thing that I don't understand about this is that all of the people who survived Eden, they realized that everything was full of acid, even the grass. And so they all went back into the Galileo 2, which is Fabu. But as soon as the crew finds the people who are like, you know what, we shouldn't go out there. It's like, okay, we go into the shuttlecraft, take them all out of the shuttlecraft and put them on the grass. And it's like, this is not helping. It's not helping.
They put him on the dirt there.
Well,
right?
It's probably full of acid too, yo.
Everything's full of that. Like, what's not full of acid on this planet?
Yeah, dirt, it there's no plants, there wouldn't be an acidic effect, but that's just my theory.
There's moisture in the dirt, hence the nourishment, and the moisture within the dirt would be acidic
or something. Yeah.
Anyway, this doesn't make any sense, and F+.
Severn, don't! You'll kill yourself!
Don't bite into that.
Stop!
Yeah, but he doesn't stop.
Yeah, because he does not want to face reality, so he kills himself.
Right, because he was in psychological distress and he was insane, and yet the Federation did nothing to cure him of his illness, and we don't know why he was failed in this way. Like, what's going on there?
Just a man alone who was looking for connection and purpose. And he found connection through his followers, and he infected them with his carrying of the disease that he harbored. And unfortunately, it took them to a place where he dreamed of beauty. and he wanted peace, but unfortunately, it killed him. It is a great, like, again, this episode has great ideas, and every now and then it stops, and I just can't get connected because they wanted to play a guitar solo or a bass solo. I hate this episode as much as I hate Rush.
I mean, yeah, but that's the problem, is when they try to bring those kind of ideas without actually exploring them, and then they just say you figure it out, but we're not going to do any of the work.
Scotty, you even hate Geddy Lee when he sings "Take Off to the Great White North"?
Whenever Geddy Lee opens his mouth, I get very upset for no rational reason.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I just had to mention that.
No, I know. And I know that there are Rush fans, as I know that there are people who enjoy this episode. I just cannot enjoy either.
Agreed.
Captain, I wish first to apologize for my conduct during this time.
You did what you had to do.
And Kirk, being a great captain, forgives Chekhov and says, "Carry on. I understand."
Yeah, but also, like, and that's what I'm looking for in these subpar episodes of Star Trek. And the thing is that I do appreciate that moment where Kirk and Chekhov sort of connect, and then Chekhov says, well, no, Kirk says, "Do you want to go see her?" And Chekhov is like, "I don't think I should, because I'm pretty sure I'm in trouble." And Kirk says, "You're okay. I understand you have a past. I'm not going to hold it against you. Would you like to go see her?"
Yeah,
And
if she were my old girlfriend, I would go see her.
and Chekhov says, "I would love to. Thank you, Captain." And then she shows up on the bridge, and it's like, yeah, she's just right over there.
And Chekhov gets to kiss the girl on the bridge, and not Captain Kirk.
Being correct. Occasionally.
And you be correct.
Occasionally.
That is a nice moment.
And they kiss.
And they do.
The kiss. Yes.
And we never hear from her again. Thank heavens.
Oh yeah, we got to see her once, and that's it. She's
Good.
all done. She doesn't go back to Starfleet Academy or anything like that.
Nope. Didn't learn a lesson at all.
No, nobody learned anything in this episode.
In fact, they got dumber.
Or died.
Yeah. But on the plus side, at least her feet are better.
Yeah. and her midriff is just fine.
Well, at least Starfleet Medical does still work. McCoy is great. Why didn't McCoy help Dr. Severin with his insanity?
Right.
He's a psychologist, right? He could have helped him.
Well, it's kind of like in Relics, where the only person who would have been able to help Scotty is Counselor Troy, and she only shows up at the end. Yeah, this is F+.
Girl 1.
I don't know.
Girl 2.
I don't know. I think the bridge of the Girl 1 and Girl 2.
They don't even deserve a name. Come on.
At least make it up.
Yeah.
At least call her, like, Charlotte.
Yeah, really.
I think the bridge of the holodeck bridge of the Enterprise did a better job than Counselor Troy could have done anyway.
Yeah, well, that's just because you're racist against betazoids.
Only the ones who lose their power and then look at people and say, "I don't see you now. You're empty to me."
Yes.
Deborah Downey is Girl 1. Phyllis Douglas, Girl 2. Okay.
Oh, my stars. Her actual name is Debbie Downer?
Debbie Downer.
No, Downey.
Oh, my mistake.
Not Downer. Debbie Downer.
I'm
Oh, dear.
so sorry. I'm so sorry to the entire family of Deborah Downey for mispronouncing your name.
Scotty, don't be a negative Nancy.
Oh, I can't help it. My last name is Nancy and my middle name is Neggy.
Did everyone enjoy Elizabeth Rogers' second appearance as Lieutenant Palmer? Taking over for Uhura?
Right.
No, I
Because
can't- I
Uhura
can't
would
say
have
I did.
overshadowed the. But the reasoning makes sense.
Scotty,
Right.
what did you say? You didn't like her?
It's no knock against that actress or that character. It's just it's a musical episode that we're lacking.
The musician.
We prefer Nichelle Nichols.
Yes.
I always
definitely.
want Nichelle Nichols in every episode. I don't know
Yes.
why she's not in every episode.
Yes, I agree.
I guess because she has a life and she wanted
I
to
want
do other stuff.
I want Nichelle and I want Walter and I want George. Always the main crew. All
Right.
the time, everywhere.
Well, yeah, Lieutenant Palmer, the last time she was on Star Trek was the Doomsday Machine.
That's right. The Doomsday Machine.
So,
and
I guess
Nichelle,
that's
I
just-
think she was it's either she had a gig or she was in that there was a movie she did. And now I'm having a senior moment again.
I need to go see movies with Nichelle Nichols. What's wrong?
Yeah, it's it has Doctor in the title. I can't remember.
Dr.
Okay.
Zaius. The
Dr.
movie.
Zaius, Dr. Zaius.
That's probably not right.
No, it's not.
I'll look,
I'm making
I'll look
it
it up. You guys keep talking.
Of course. Well, we're at the part of the episode where we review what we've just seen.
Yeah.
But before we do that, I've got a lot of chat. So let's catch up with the chat real quick.
Yep.
Let's see where I was. My star was way up high.
This episode makes me want marijuana a lot.
Didn't you already have some?
No, I haven't. Lady, you told me to be soberish.
I did tell you that. I didn't know you were going to listen, and I'm not in control
Yeah,
of you.
the movie is Doctor, You've Got to Be Kidding from 1967.
Well, is it better than Pretty Maids All in a Row?
Well, it gets a 5.3 at Internet Movie Database. So
Well, that's higher than Pretty Maids All in a Row.
Oh, what's that rating?
I think it's like a 4.9.
A 4?
Yeah.
Great ship porn, different angles.
Yeah, Larry, you're absolutely right. And this is what I like from the onset. I think that the remaster of the episode does actually engage the audience as opposed to the original special effects, and not to detract from the original artists, but it's wonky, it's kind of static, and the remaster does add a bit. I think it adds a bit.
And there you go. There's the difference between the new ship that they stole and the old one.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish that they weren't so rushed and had a bigger budget to do the digital remastered effects, because they were really pressed for time, and sometimes it's a little wonky.
Well, and some of the CG of that day was great for that time, but then you look at it now and it's a little bit dated.
That's true as well. Yeah, definitely.
And there's a difference between the Edens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they really did a good job with the planets. I mean, look at the one on the left. I love that. It's almost like a matte painting from the Cage. You know.
Well, and is the original just sort of like unused footage from
Shore Leave?
I Am
Shore Leave.
Kirok.
Oh, surely.
Or
I
Paradise.
Yeah.
No, Scotty, I think you're right. The Paradise Syndrome, yeah.
Oh,
I think
the
it's the
Paradise
same.
Syndrome.
It's the same lake.
Yeah, that one makes more sense.
Yeah, that's right, Scotty. It's just unused footage, or a different angle for that episode. Yeah.
Scotty,
totally Herbert. That is me. That is me. Yeah.
Spock, not Herbert. Dr. Sarah Severn, pioneer in ear body art. Oh, God.
Stark! Make them stark!
Oh, I like that. You're on report for impersonating the captain. You get the check on the bridge. What?
Reminds me of the TNG episode where a group of Ferengi easily overtake the ship. That's Rascals.
Yes.
Right? Where the
Rascals?
some of the
I thought that was Max Sennett stuff.
No, that's the Little Rascals.
Yeah, I know.
Well, this is where
then there's the Young Rascals, the musical group.
Well, this is the TNG episode is where some of the crew become children due to a transporter accident. That makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then also making no sense, Ferengi use a very old Klingon style cruiser to take over the flagship
It's
of
a
the
bird
Federation.
of prey. It's not that old. It's not a D7.
Well, it's old enough.
Also, the Ferengi and Enterprise took over the Enterprise and NX Enterprise with a gas.
Oh, that's true.
Uh-huh.
But
Yes,
I guess
sir.
at least the Ferengi have actual weapons. The hippies just use sound.
Guitar solos and boredom.
Well, they cross-circuit stuff to make a sonic sound. That's what they do.
So anything that makes the Rascals better, that's not going to be that good.
The Rascals, the Young Rascals, is that the? Do they sing "You Get What You Give" from the 1990s?
Good lovin'.
Oh, good lovin'.
Yeah.
Okay.
Edge of Time says you don't know Bacchus until you've had the Synthococcus. I always say.
Oh, that Edge of Time.
Reluctant Dragon says Yoko
Edge of
Ono's
Time.
singing voice can kill.
Yeah,
What do you want to say to Edge of Time?
I agree.
Tearing me apart.
Yep.
It looks like the Reluctant Dragon, Edge of Time are having a trying to top each other in comedy there.
Yep.
Well, and thank you for that. That's
great. I enjoy that incredibly. So it's just
you reach.
No,
Classic
I
Comic
don't.
says, don't you love it when Star Trek tries to hop on popular trends?
I would also I agree with you, Classic Comics, and I think that you are on to something. However, I would like to say that as much as I dislike this episode, it is better than the entirety of Star Trek Discovery.
The Reluctant Dragon says that Nurse Chapel was wearing cheer shorts. The uniform shorts match.
Yes.
Nice. Also, she was a brunette, and I can tell.
Is funny. Is that what the kids are calling it these days?
Yes. If there are no follow-up questions, yes.
Oh, bullet bra. I don't know.
Oh, dude. Check out the movie Goldfinger if you want to see bullet bras.
Larry says Memory Alpha is infected with the filth.
The filth.
Larry.
He's
I
correct.
appreciate. Well, yeah, but only a limited mind will exclude things that exist. I hate the fact that the filth waters down Star Trek, besmirches the history, and absolutely destroys the mythology and canon of Star Trek. But there is one sad thing that is a reality, and that is that the filth does exist.
But we don't have to accept it as canon, and therefore
we don't have to. We don't have to deal with it. We can brush it aside and skip over it when we see it. It's important to know how to tell when you see it and pay very close attention.
Well,
just
call me a boimler.
I am very proud to say once again that I've never partaken of any of that filth.
Well, and also, Stone Racket, I would highly recommend. I would highly recommend.
We're in trouble.
That you go check out the new Twin Peaks.
No, sir.
It would be a lot I would be so much happier if Memory Alpha didn't have the filth in it.
Why
Yeah.
won't you watch the
Maybe
new Twin
maybe we
Peaks?
should
It's
make a
directed
new
by
Memory Alpha.
David Lynch. It's made by
Better
David
one.
Lynch.
Nope.
Why not?
Because it's not in the spirit of the original series.
I disagree. As do many Twin Peaks fans.
Wes Cagle says the end where they're on Eden is the best part, where the hippies get theirs on Eden. Yeah.
But they got their feet burnt so badly.
I know, it looked very painful.
It looked extremely painful. It's like, ugh.
I don't respect anybody who doesn't wear shoes.
Yeah, that was obviously a mistake.
No shoes, no shirt, no service.
Exactly.
Check off scream. Open the hangar doors and rush of air will break it out of orbit.
But of course.
Again, another is... Oh, no, that's from Cause and Effect. Good work.
Please read this one, Stone Rocket.
Damn it, Jim. We're explorers, not a boy band from Mars.
Damn it.
30 seconds from Mars. Thank you.
Mars Monkey Max for the win.
The victim here is the audience. Agreed, Reluctant Dragon. Jill is deadly. Yeah. So that's why it's best that I'm on the internet. You guys are safe from me.
Is he suggesting that you're a carrier? No.
No, I have no idea what you mean.
Jill has the herpes.
No.
Oh my god, no, I don't. LBG,
Jill's intellect is deadly.
It's true. And also, for the record, Jill does not have the herpes.
Larry says, have to duck to get in a shuttle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mind the gap. Max headroom.
Plants are poison and they don't want us to eat their babies.
Feed me, Seymour.
There you go. Spread milk of magnesia on the ground.
What is milk of
Full
magnesia?
of okay.
It's an antacid. It's a counteract acid on the ground, the plants.
Oh,
it's a joke.
Like Tums.
It's sort of like Tums, but liquid form.
McCoy said that the planet is full of acid, but Classic Comics says more like full of stupid.
Where do I find a magnesia to milk it?
No one can resist plapples. Yeah,
No.
that's
it
well, we
plapples
didn't
or
name
apples?
We didn't name the fruit that they were eating, but Edge of Time has
a combination of pears and apples. Is that what he's getting at? Yeah,
It's a thing. It's
yeah,
a thing.
plapples. There you go.
Sure.
I thought it was just papple. I didn't know there was a pla.
Yeah,
Maybe it's
PLA, plapple.
Well, no, I can read, yo.
Well, you're confusing me then.
I'm
so
confused. I'm confused.
I'm so confused. Yeah, you're talking about what you've heard it referred to as opposed to what is right there on the screen.
Wes Cagle says about the acidity of the planet, I could see it both ways. The soil can be acidic because that's where the plants get their nutrients from. Also, the soil could be inert as it is not organic and the plants develop the acid on their own.
I'm fine with that. I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Both
Yeah,
makes sense.
Wes Cagle, yes. Wes Cagle for technical advisor.
She lowered the volume so that they would all survive. Oh, well that's good. So did I miss that part of the episode?
I think we all missed that.
That would have been great if she added that in there because she was worried about the Sonic killing people, and if she would have been like, you would have saw her tinkering and the electronics fixing it, that would have been kind of neat.
Yeah.
Oh no, they're all gonna die. No, they won't. Yes, they will. And they didn't.
Don't.
So no. I hate to say it this way, but F this episode.
If the sound was high enough, it would kill.
Speaking of F this episode, please. You're up first, Scotty. You're 37.
It's an F+. I always look on the bright side of life when it comes to an episode of Star Trek, and I want to love it. I have done it with worse episodes. The last time, there are only 2 episodes before this that I have said, "Oh my stars, can I please leave?" And the first one was The Alternative Factor. The only thing entertaining about that was the guy's goatee. The second one was BEM, because F BEM. And this is the third one. Like, when it comes to classic Star Trek, I appreciate it because it is schlocky bad, but it does betray the worst thing. And that's that it's boring. It, like, every time I get engaged in Way to Eden, they stop for like a bass solo. It's so like, I want to find things here, and I do. And then every time I find something that I like about this episode, it just hits me in the face with a cold fish. And so for that reason, I will probably, in my entire life, I will probably only watch this one more time ever. And I'm glad that I got to see it again. And I hope that the next time I see it, I am as inebriated on recreational botanicals as I was last night.
That's true. You watched it twice last night.
Yeah.
On a
Blu-ray. In fact,
then,
I was so angry at this episode that I started yelling at the packaging of my Blu-ray collection, and I was like, "This is the worst. I don't understand. Why am I?"
The package called back to you.
I was
like,
so,
I think
this
twice
makes me
in
angry.
24 hours is plenty of watching of.
Can I never
The Way
watch
to
this
Eden.
episode again?
Yeah,
Yes,
you could.
I
Stone
would.
Racket. Let's go into your review and see what Stone Racket thinks.
Yeah, I agree, Scotty. You don't have to watch it again. If you watched it twice in 24 hours, that's you've gone beyond the Call of Duty. Yeah, I give this one an F because it's those stinking space hippies, and it's as subtle as a sledgehammer in the face. And I'm going to quote the late great Dorothy Fontana. She said, and I quote, I'll try to, this is from memory, but by quoting her from the Cushman book, she said, she watched The Way to Eden once, and that was enough. End of quote.
Agree.
So that's my review. It's like,
I love you, Dot.
Yeah.
Yeah, great review. Dorothy, you can't say it any better than Dorothy herself, whose idea got completely
hijacked,
disseminated, disintegrated.
Yeah.
But I want to hear from
stupefied.
I want to hear from Jim. So, Captain Duke Shepard, what do you think of The Way to Eden?
Well, like I always said, every episode is supposed to have a message about good old Earth. And with the hippies and that, think about this. Was the hippies, the reason they brought the hippies in because people, and they were hippies, protesting about war? Possible. That could be part of it. And of course, when they find Eden, it's all poison, but they was looking for a planet that would be nice and free and they could do whatever they want. That was a whole deal. That's how I take it. But yeah, of course, I give it an A, and you can throw rotten apples at me all you want. But the reason I give it A because of the love of Star Trek that I have for it.
And I love that.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a lovely sentiment.
Hey, Scotty, when you said stupefy, were you referring to Stupefying Jones?
No, I was referring to another Seinfeld episode, and so I
Okay.
was being Jackie Childs. But considering that this was written by Michael Richards, I figured I was on side.
Yeah.
And you
speaking of music, in the musical Little Abner, Julie Newmar plays a character called Stupefying Jones, and she completely mesmerizes and stupefies the men when they encounter her. I don't think I need to elaborate any more on that.
Does she show her navel, you perv?
Negative.
All right. And on both counts.
Lots of leg, though, as I recall.
Which is dope.
You and your legs and nables.
Franco Walker says that Scotty has overdosed on this episode.
Yeah, I agree. The poor lad.
Poor guy.
I'm a Cthulhu.
Jim, you're not alone because Gorilla's Random Thoughts also gives this episode an A, and I suspect Bird of Prey 5 does too. He just said he really enjoys it, but he didn't give us his review.
Yep.
And James Caserta says it's kitsch. And Pop Culture Curator says I had to give the episode an F. Excruciating to sit through. I wish I could have heard.
I wish
you really respond to it.
Agreed.
I want to hear what sounds you make when I play the music.
Yeah.
I know. Stone Racket was.
Yeah.
It's so glorious when me and Pop get to agree, and so I wish he had been here so that we could do it live.
Yeah, we miss you, Pop.
Yeah, but I hope you're doing okay and that you'll be able to have your stream later about Frankenstein.
Oh yeah.
It's pronounced Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
That's a later movie, Scotty.
Oh, my mistake.
This is Revenge of Frankenstein, which
I read I read Frankenstein when I was a kid, so I do know I was okay.
Yeah, I did a book report on it in 4th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And the teachers
4th grade.
like,
You're trying to show me up. I read it in 6th grade. Damn it.
No, it's a true story. I did a book report for Mrs. Osborne, and she was like, Brian, can we interest you in this book, Oh Pioneers? It's like they were worried that I was getting too much into science fiction and fantasy. But that's the attitude. That's the attitude back in the 60s. I mean, you got it right and left. You like Star Trek? What's wrong with you?
I get that a lot too.
Yeah. Oh, that's so sad.
It is. It's pathetic.
Well, I also give it an F minus. I'm out of my mind on this one. There's so many bad things about it that we covered today, but worst of all, it's just shameful. This is one of the few episodes where I would be embarrassed to be watching it if someone were to barge in on me while watching Star Trek. Another one is Code of Honor. And this one has a very bad representation.
No vaccine.
Oh, I asked for that. This one has a very bad representation about a subject that I should enjoy because I grew up enjoying counterculture things like punk rock, and rebellion always appealed to me on some kind of level. But a starship is a very dangerous place to practice your anarchy. Even if they weren't trying to take over the ship, they're annoying, they're disruptive, and none of what they rebel against has any substance or value or purpose or meaning. It's all just empty garbage, filled with rat feces, covered in some kind of goo. I don't know what kind.
Well, no, you can borrow some of mine.
You want to live in nature? You're Federation members who can go off to a colony that does that. You don't want to be a Federation member anymore? Well, I'm sure it's not mandatory. I bet these kids were free at any time to ask to be taken to some random world to be free of the man. But guess what the truth is? They didn't really want to be free of authority because they had a goal to look for Eden. And guess what you need to search for a planet in space? A spaceship. You cannot be space hippies without accepting the guidance of some technology and advancement. And wait a minute, I forgot one of the biggest questions I wanted to ask. How did they find Eden?
Maps.
They just right maps. They found it, and then they didn't say. Nobody said they found it, and so we don't know how. Anyway, okay, never mind.
This episode
just
is
the
worse
computer
than
did it.
Keiko.
Hey, welcome to the stream. Bird of Prey 5. I'm just going to finish my review and then I want to hear your review. And I can't wait. And so for me, though, you do arrive as I'm smashing it. It falls apart for me when before it even starts. Yeah, but it's not filled with
there's
candy.
no candy.
There's no candy inside. It falls apart because it's filled with poison fruit before it even starts, and it's a failure. It's disappointing. I wish DC Fontana was able to write her script and more of everyone who created Star Trek was still on set. I just wanted everybody, it'd be so great if we had our two Genes, our Bob Justman, and our DC Fontana. Some of the classic directors that got fired just because they went an hour over time. And oh man, well, I mean, they use Herb Solo as a derisive term. I didn't even know it was Herb Solo. I didn't know what they meant when they kept saying Herbert, but he was probably one of the better corporate persons because he was around when Star Trek was good. So I'm just giving him the benefit of the doubt.
That's right. Herbert Solo helped sell Star Trek.
He did. He did good stuff. And he was important. So I like Herbert. I do not like The Way to Eden. I tried. I really did. I wanted to like it because Spock was curious. Spock wanted to connect with these people in the way that he connected with them.
With Cybok.
And feeling like he felt like an outsider himself, even beyond Cybok.
Oh, that was a nice character moment.
It kind of could have been. It could have been more. It could have been more. There was good potential there. But it's just all right. I give it an F minus. It's but do I think it's worse than Alternative Factor is the question. I don't know.
What of Lazarus?
What if all right. I think I'm gonna just make them even today and ask Birdo Prey 5 what he thinks of The Way to Eden.
Well, hello world. It's Birdo Prey 5, Kapla. And I wasn't going to come up because I was busy, but I did mention in the chat that I earnestly do like today's episode, and I heard somebody bring it up, but I wanted to just give my defense, if you will. It's not a long episode. It's not a long, but here's the thing. Obviously, I had memories of this episode for a long time, and I put it up there with Spock's brain, and as one of the worst TOS episodes. But then, maybe four years ago, at the height of Star Trek Discovery, I hesitate to say height, but Star Trek Discovery was well into, I guess, season 2 or 3, and everything was looking like shit. And I was like, okay. I will trying to ration to myself that all Star Trek has had terrible episodes. I said, let me go. I was doing a video. I was going to put out a video to say, even Star Trek, the original series, has had terrible episodes. So we can, maybe we should give Star Trek Discovery a little bit more of a pass. So I went, and with that in my mind, I rewatched, having not seen the episode probably since I was a kid. I had really very little recollection what the episode was about. So with that in my mind, I rewatched, and I was like, holy crap. This episode is genius. This is great compared to Star Trek Discovery. I mean, 2-3 seasons of Star Trek Discovery and Way to Eden, or whatever it is, Journey to Eden, better than every single one of them
Highway
put
to
together. It's not Highway to Eden.
I know.
Okay. I know it's either Journey or Way. Eden. I
The Way.
confuse the Journey to Babel.
The
Right,
cul-de-sac of Eden.
Okay, Way to Eden. Way to Eden, literally better than every single episode of Star Trek Discovery
Agreed.
I had seen to that point, and I would say still to this day.
Yeah.
So how can I not give it an A? It's still an A.
There you go.
Well, and I subscribe to your philosophy. Yeah.
That's a lovely thing to say because yes, I agree. Every single episode of Star Trek, the original series, is better than I'd say it's better than all of New Trek. I
Right.
wouldn't even
So
just say
it's-
Discovery.
So it's an A on the using all Star Trek as the base.
Yes, yeah.
It's
As
not an
guidance,
okay.
sure.
So it's
But I-
not an A using just the TOS scale. It's an A on the all of Trek scale.
Well, Bird, you know what? In the middle of this episode, I was like, I wish I had been watching Ala Moraine.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, oh man, it seems like a painful episode because the characters are so one-dimensional and everything is a little bit ridiculous, but yes. Yes, come along home.
Move along home.
Move along home.
Go along home. Let's rent a U-Haul.
Move along
better.
home.
Yeah.
it's, you're definitely dealing with the move along homes and the thresholds.
Sure.
And
Code of honor.
The code of honors. Although I like code of honor too.
So do I.
personally.
So do I. I'm not racist. I like black people.
Oh my
To
god.
be honest, that's exactly true. I don't have any reason to hate the episode because it's black people, but
that's not why I don't like Code of Honor. I don't like Code of Honor because the villains are one-dimensional and they're just they're stereotypes and they're just thieves and they're dishonorable. There's no honor in that episode.
I still think that Lutan is a precursor to, or at least a contributor to, the honor-based societal structure of the Klingons.
I disagree.
Okay. Well, we can talk about it all next week on the new podcast. Scott doesn't know what he's talking about.
Oh,
Hey, there we go.
man. No.
Hey, what happened to our
just
navel
because
gazing podcast, Scotty?
Just because I disagree with you doesn't mean I don't think your opinion is important.
Hey, I'm just taking a knee. You're the host. I don't want to overstep.
I appreciate what you have to say, even though you're wrong.
Yeah, no, frequently.
All right. Man, thank you so much, Bird, for sharing your perspective.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I really
yeah.
do appreciate that.
Thanks. I just wanted to bring that up before.
And
I
Bird,
got to get going.
no,
You gotta go?
Your perspective on Star Trek really fills my heart with joy, and it makes me feel like there are, like, I've always enjoyed your perspective on it, and it makes me feel like there are Star Trek fans like me out there, and that's because of your perspective.
Well, we all have different opinions,
And he really means that.
but thank you. But there are Star Trek fans who have different opinions than me, and they're also Star Trek fans.
I have a quick question
here
though
for
before
it.
you go, and I know you got to go. Way to Eden or Star Trek V: The Final Frontier? Which one is better?
Oh well, Star Trek V: The Final Frontier is a great movie.
And this is why I want to give you a hug.
That's not even a joke.
No,
not even. In
that's how I feel.
Not in any. I mean, it's the most, in a way, it's the most Star Trek of the films. In that, the good guys win. The bad guys aren't even necessarily that bad. They're not bloodthirsty terrorists.
They're also space hippies, right?
In a way.
Well, cult.
A cult.
Yeah, sort of.
hippies.
Yeah, sort of.
Anyway, I appreciate your perspective, sir.
Yeah, me too. It's always a real treasure when you get to hang out and
let's face it. I mean, the best part of that movie is at the park at Yosemite.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Cation who gets thrown into the not a pool table.
No, but it's everybody remembers it.
Mhm.
It's memorable.
Mm-hmm.
Can't be that bad of a movie if everybody remembers all the scenes.
Well, there are people who have a marshmallow dispenser.
I got 2 of them.
Marshmallow, the Horace fan dance. Everybody remembers it.
I need my pain.
Zulu. Well, how often have you done this? It's my first time.
And don't forget about the kitty cat with 3 boobs.
That's the Cation, yo.
And what does God need?
Barricade. Absolutely. What does God need for the starship? For all Shatner and his feeling bad about it being the worst part of his professional life and whatnot, that movie, everybody remembers almost the entire. If you watch it once, there are so many scenes you'll remember forever.
You will. Yeah.
I want some of those rocket boots.
Exactly. The rocket boost, the falling off the cliff, the shooting up the decks of even though it's ridiculous. Number of decks
the
of
numbers
Enterprise.
change.
The numbers going up and down. 60, all of a sudden 70 something decks on the Enterprise. Yeah.
Hey, Bones, mind if we drop it?
Yes.
Scotty remembers the ship like the back of his Boeing.
Oh no, that's the worst. Dalek 451.
time.
Hello, Dalek 451. He says, nice to find somewhere where everybody isn't fighting or throwing hissy fits. That's all everyone else seems to be doing.
7 minutes. I'll do it in 7 minutes.
Wes Cagle says, out of the 10 Star Trek films, The Final Frontier comes in at number 9 for him. It beats out only Nemesis.
Yeah,
it's not a good
Cagle.
film.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I definitely side a little more with Wes Cagle, but I could listen to Bird talk about Star Trek to infinity.
Yep.
And so thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, all day. And so make sure you catch his Monday and Friday bed live streams and everything else in between.
Thank you. Okay, now I really gotta go.
And I know, yeah,
Thank
you
you,
gotta
Bruce.
go. And I gotta close this
Thank
show
you.
out. I gotta go too.
Thanks
Have
for
a
showing
good
up,
day.
man. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Yeah, thanks for being
Thank
here,
you.
Bird of Prey 5.
I feel terrible now.
Why do you feel terrible?
Thank you, because you're spending too much time. I'm in, I'm out, I'm gone.
No, you're fine.
Life should go on.
Calm down.
Hey, I like that you make us think, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
See ya.
Goodbye.
The refit gave Scotty fits. It says Larry.
Yes. Me, Scotty, or
I think he
Scotty,
means
Scotty.
Montgomery Scott.
All right.
Montgomery Scott.
You can call him Monty. You don't have to go through.
No, that conjures up that
Check
prima
5
donna
is
general
rehearsing,
from
says
World War II.
Francis Serta.
Oh, I'm not.
Well,
familiar
it
with
helps.
war.
It helps me to pretend that they fell asleep in Yosemite and everything's a dream.
Yeah, and I think that is. Never mind. I don't want to talk about it.
Jill.
Yeah, well, I didn't mean for the end of this
Jill.
review to be a mini Star Trek 5 review. Yes, Stone Rocket.
Jill, life is not a dream.
Good night.
Life
Spike.
could be a dream. No.
So anyway, are we done with this episode? Can I go?
Well, we are done with this episode. You can go. Do you want to
Great.
say your stuff and leave?
No.
Because no. Okay. So
I'm
just
really
wanted to make sure.
You know what? I'm just really happy to be able to hang out and talk about Star Trek with you, and it is one of my favorite things. And it's a pleasure to talk to Jim and Stone Racket. This is so great. I hope I was conducting myself as a Starfleet officer today. I will continue to attempt to do so in the future. And if I don't, I suppose I will eat a poison papple. I will see you in the future.
That's too far. Oh wait,
Well, I'm
are you
not
actually going?
gonna. I'm not actually gonna.
No, don't
eat
do
a
that,
poison
Scotty.
apple.
No. Are you actually leaving?
Yeah, I'm out. I'm
Okay,
sick and
okay.
tired of this. I cannot. I gotta go watch Star Trek 5 to watch this episode out of
There you
Okay,
go.
my
well,
head. I am not a Herbert. I just want some sherbert.
okay,
Oh, there you
okay.
go.
So, do you want to see the poll results first, or no?
No, I know
Okay.
how I think.
All right.
And to Larry, shaboom. I'll see you guys in the future.
Later.
Boom,
Bye,
shaboom.
Scotty.
And subscribe to Phantasmagorium and me and Cinema Gulp. That's where you'll find Scotty R37. Also on his Twitter. And nothing unreal exists, says James Caserta. And I'm going to end the poll right now. Let's see what we got. There's somebody honking a horn. I can hear it.
That's the captain.
The phone's ringing a little bit. It's on silent.
Okay.
How would you rate the Way to Eden? So the chat gives this episode a D to an F, and that is 39%. That is most of them.
Big surprise. No.
Yeah.
Not a big. Well, yeah, that's true. I don't know if I hope I saved my alternative factor because I want to compare the two at some point. But that
I prefer alternative factor over this one, but for sure.
25% give it a C. 22% and 12% give it a B, and then A. Not respectively, I transposed them. So there we go. That's the chat in terms of what they review this episode as.
Edge of Time. That's he's referencing
Can you read Edge Times? Oh, they took our gerbs.
They took our gerbs on the bridge. He's referencing Rings of Power, I do believe.
Rings of Power?
Yeah, I just watched the coverage from YouTubers, and I happen to know that there's they took our jobs kind of thing.
They took our jobs. That comes from South Park, actually.
Yeah, but I'm talking about. Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry.
Is it on? Oh, well, I didn't watch Rings of Power. It
was how they handled the Rings of Power. So maybe for comedic effect on some YouTubers. So let me be more specific. But yeah, it does originate, I guess, from this South Park thing I've heard of. The
South Park thing that you just heard of right now.
No, I don't partake of South Park.
That's where the YouTubers have got it from, and it's great.
Yeah. I mean, I did see,
but it degrade. It starts they took our jobs, and then they say they took our gerbs, and then say derp.
That's what it's from. Yeah, I did like the coverage of the pandering stone that the various YouTubers did, so I got a big dose of that.
For sure. And thanks to Matt Stone and Trey Parker, I got to babble on the internet.
There you
Walker
go.
says, plotting to Eden. That's what they
good
did.
old Franco.
James Caserta is watching Discovery a little now. Somehow, I have Paramount Plus, and it's not the worst thing in the world, given my lowered expectations, of course.
Oh, dear.
What is wrong with James Caserta?
He's a contrarian.
James Caserta, I'm so glad you're here. I didn't go. I couldn't make it past STD season 2. That was the end for me, and it did not seem like not the worst thing in the world. It did seem like the worst thing in the world. But I guess you're saying your expectations have been so lowered that things. Wow, that is incredible.
How low can you go?
Oh, Edge of Time explains it a lot better. It's backwards day. For James Caserta, it is backwards day.
Oh, there you go. Now, why are we changing things to the Melon Man from the Muffin Man?
We don't know.
I'm not there yet. Don Ranger Power says, fascinating, James. Season 2 is among the few things I love, to be honest. Enjoy what you enjoy best. Yes, I'm glad that Don and James Caserta can find joy in something that makes me want to rip my eyeballs and cut my ears out.
Oh, dear. Oh, Jill. It's Filthy Friday here.
It's filthy. It has become Filthy Friday on a Tuesday. What about that?
What about that?
Edge of Time says, how many times is the take over the Enterprise trope used?
Yeah, and especially the auxiliary control room. I just can't stand that.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, like you said, it's supposed to be failsafe, not transfer power to the enemies.
Right.
Room.
Exactly.
That's what it is, though. That's all auxiliary is really there for. So the bad guys couldn't try to win.
knock out the one guy that's there, and then all of a sudden we can control the whole ship. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Bird of Prey 5, for sharing your thoughts on this episode. It beats screaming at the TV over hot YouTube takes. Nothing unreal exists, says James.
Yep.
Shaboom.
Shaboom.
Which way is loose to Eden?
Huh?
But Franco reminds you to subscribe, share, and hit the like. Hit the like chat. It's amazing how angry Jill is with this episode.
Yeah.
Well, I think Bird is right. The Way to Eden is way better than New Trek.
Yeah, but
I still give this episode an.
But the thing is, it's like New Trek is not Trek at all. It is not Trek at all. It doesn't exist. So I just like to keep things within, like, we're reviewing the original series, so I'm going to keep it within that spectrum,
And I try to do that myself, but sometimes I do think about TNG and all that, but at least that's still Star Trek.
Yeah, then TNG is its own thing, but with me, of course, the original series is superior to everything else Star Trek through 2005. So I'm upfront with my bias.
It makes total sense to review the show you're reviewing. But I do appreciate the fact that people will think of all of it. I just don't. I don't either. I'm with you, Stoner. I prefer.
Yeah, but if but if it's like Bird of Prey 5, we all have our opinions, and if he finds enjoyment, and basically, I think Bird of Prey 5 might agree that even a 33rd season episode like The Way to Eden is a palate cleanser compared to what he witnessed with the filth, Star Trek Discovery and whatnot, the new Trek.
Yeah, brother.
Hey, brother.
Stop.
We reach.
I reach for the remote to throw at the television screen. No.
I reach you.
See?
I reach you. Yeah. I'm so convinced by that. That's like, Spock. That's not Spock. Yeah, identifying with a bunch of space hippies. Maybe some of the what Severin his work, he admires, but the thing is, you're searching for Eden. I reach. It's like, what? This is Cybok before Cybok.
There's something.
Still doesn't make sense.
There's a fine line between you're figuring out how to communicate with other people, but then you're just buying into their nonsense. They can speak actual English or actual whatever language they're speaking that the universal translator is projecting. It's very different in a pleasant way, it seems so far. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's opposite day for James Caserta.
No, I think he's being since at first I thought he was joking, but I think now
No, I'm
that he
I'm
was
trying to
actually.
rationalize it that way. That's what I
I
said.
know, but it feels the more and more he talks, the more I think he's being serious. Nimoy sings the Way to Eden soundtrack.
What? Oh, is he referring to a make-believe album?
Yeah, is that real, Larry?
There is an album out there
PvP
of the
says.
cast singing.
Oh, really? An album about the casting?
About stuff what they sing. You
Oh.
got to play it. You got to get and play it.
Oh, but does Leonard Nimoy sing on that album?
Yeah, and William Shatner and
Oh my God.
Uhura does as well.
Really?
But William Shatner, but Captain Kirk is a Herbert. He was singing. Oh my gosh.
It's on YouTube somewhere.
That's so cool. I would probably enjoy that more than the actual episode. PvP says, when I watch this episode, I reach for the barf bucket.
Agreed, PvP, agreed.
James Caserta said, unfortunately, Brian Fuller didn't get what he wanted. Or did he? Well, no, he didn't. He got fired before the show even started. So
Right.
there's like, fuck
It's like,
off.
because they didn't want someone
Star
who
Trek
respected
fan.
Star Trek, so they fired him.
Jeez.
And he wasn't even that great of a Star Trek writer, but he was a real Star Trek writer from the 90s, you know that. And so he was something, and they got rid of him, and it became nothing.
Yeah.
Edge of Time says, I've got this weird Star Trek idea. What if Spock had an unmentionable sister who was so terrible, no one would voice her misdeeds across the universe?
Gosh, the mind boggles.
Spock.
Let's call her Mikey Spock.
Spock has no sister.
Spock, I have no sister.
So this episode was that bad? Yeah, Dalek, you didn't make it to season 3, did you? How far did you get? I know you watched Star Trek, the original series, but you didn't watch all the episodes. How far did you get? But actually, you know what? I gotta go. It's like 5 minutes until I need to be dashing. So
okay.
This has been a great time. I enjoyed it. Tiger Stripes says, no, it wasn't that bad. It's just a bit cringe. Well, but it doesn't have anything. The episode doesn't have anything to say.
For me, my alternate title for this is Ahead Cringe Factor 12.
This episode doesn't have anything to say, and I don't have any more to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and we'll talk to you later. I want to let Jim talk about his channel and whatever else he wants to talk about. What's going on?
Well, we did release a video Sunday, St. Patrick's Day. Did pretty good on that. Got a new actor on there. His name is Kelly. He's a new actor, so he's going to be doing more of Hope and got a lot more to get done. So just keep watching Commoner Productions. You never know what you're going to see.
Hooray.
That's about it.
And there's your channel.
Yep.
And
subscribe to that sucker. Build it up.
Subscribe to Jim's Landscape. And I'm going to grab Stone Racket's Twitter in case anybody licks kitty cats. He shares those.
I need 21 more subs to make 1,200.
Woo.
Ooh.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Jim, last time we were talking about your channel, I discovered that I wasn't subbed to your channel. So either YouTube kicked me off or
it normally does.
I had a senior moment and I hadn't subscribed yet. So yeah, I'm subscribed now.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
YouTube does have a habit of kicking people off, no matter who it is.
YouTube is a mind of its own. But yeah, I don't have a YouTube channel, but I am on Twitter and I like cats.
Meow.
And my cats also like Star Trek. And they're just like me, they're big fans of Star Trek. And but Chico, he's more into TNG, and Harpo is definitely a TOS fan.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
But thanks, Jill, so much for having these streams, so we all can talk to you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
About Star Trek, the thing that we love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we do love it.
Yeah, thank you.
I put in Scotty's link twice. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to grab his Twitter. Yeah, of course. I really enjoyed talking about this episode, even though I don't really enjoy the episode. I mean, I guess it was interesting. It was interesting to explore. You're jumping the gun. Can't leave a comment until the stream is closed. Wait, what? Oh, right. Yeah, that is a thing. But he's expecting me to close the show, and he's helping me out, Tiger Stripes. He's doing great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Franco Walker. And so next Tuesday, we're going to continue our review of the original series, but we're running out of episodes. We have 4 left, and the next one is going to be
Requiem for Methuselah.
Yes, Requiem for Methuselah. And so let's watch the trailer for that. And on Friday, we're going to review the movie Apollo 13. So anybody interested in that, let me know. And
Wow.
I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
If you do not leave voluntarily, I have the power to force you to leave or kill you where you stand.
Have you ever seen a victim of Virgilian fever? They die in one day. The effects are like bubonic plague.
The Enterprise, a plague ship. A last tender encounter, Captain Kirk. Be thankful that you did not attack me, Captain. I might have accepted battle, and I have twice your physical strength. How childish he is, Raina. Would you call him brave or a fool?
I will not be the cause of this. I choose.
My crew. Time for you to join your crew.
Learn all that is learnable.
And the ways our differences combine to create meaning and beauty.
It has always been easier to destroy than to create.
Well, now you have something new to think about. Carry on.
All right, move along. Done. Stop it. Get off of the things. Go outside. Get some food. It's like, it's a time of day where you live. Go do something. Shut up, Snoopy. I don't care. You smoke too much. Let's go. Let's go adventure. Let's go explore.
See you around the galaxy.